Salt Lake Bees baseball is on the air.
Yes, this is my squad.
It's time to get you ready for another day at the ballpark with the On Deck Circle.
What do we have on deck?
Fire it up
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Good morning and welcome to the On Deck Circle. Today is the finale of this 6-game series. The Salt Lake Bees get set to face the El Paso Chihuahuas as Salt Lake goes for the series win this afternoon in the Lone Star State. Tony Parks with you once again. Thanks for joining us. Parker Long is back at our Zone Sports studios. And before this series started, the Bees had not won a game on the road when trailing going into the ninth. Back in game one, they were down 3-2 going into their final ups. They scratched out 2 runs to take a 1-run lead. Caleb Ort nailed it down in the ninth for a thrilling series opening victory. And after El Paso took the next 2 games, the Bees soundly won game 4 thanks to Brett Carey's 7 innings of 2-hit shutty. Then last night, the Bees were down 3 going into the bottom of the ninth. They would load the bases up with 1 out for Gustavo Campero. Hoping for a 9th inning nightmare. Here's Gustavo Campero. First pitch. Smoked it down the right field line. Long run for Harris going towards the corner. It's down. He cuts it off. Coming in to score from third, Rada. Rounding third, coming home is Marlowe. Going first to third on the play is Moore. It's a 2-run single for Gustavo Campero. And the Bees have cut the deficit down to 1. It's 7-6 here in the ninth. Suddenly high drama in the ninth inning, and the Bees were far from done. Pablo Reyes walked to load the bases back up, and that brought Nico Cavadas to the plate, the guy who has been stellar in the month of August. Already had 3 hits on the night, including a home run and a 2-run single. But one thing that has made him so great, the pitches he doesn't swing at. Here comes the 3-2. Cavadas takes inside, ball 4, game tied. Nice peeps, Nico. We're all tied 7 apiece, and all of a sudden the crowd was restless around this place. And so then Nico ties the game up, and after Kyron Paris struck out, it was Salt Lake's newcomer, Rowdy Rodriguez, looking to give the Bees the lead. Now the runners get a head start. Count full. Bases full. Score even. Rodriguez stepping back in. Exhales again, taps the plate ready. The runners are going to take off on the pitch. The 2025 Angels Minor League Player of the Year in the box. There go the runners. Here comes the pitch. Inside, ball 4. Bees lead 8-7. Incredible moment. Bees take the lead 8-7. It was a 1-2-3 ninth inning for Caleb Ort. He slammed the door shut on the Chihuahuas and this El Paso crowd. Ort picked up his 9th save of the season, his 2nd of the series, and coming into this series, Salt Lake was 0-27 when trailing after 8 on the road. Now they won 2 games this week with 9th inning rallies. And 3 different times during the series, Salt Lake has picked up a quality start. It all started with Caden Dana back on Tuesday. He's on the mound now again today, looking to keep things moving in a great direction. Caden tossed 6 innings back in game 1, allowed just 2 earned runs. He walked the first batter he faced, didn't walk another hitter the rest of the way. He allowed 5 hits, punched out 5. It was his deepest start back on June 5th, and that's when he shut out Albuquerque in 6 frames. Overall on the year, Caden Dana a record of 2-5 with an ERA of 5.63, but he has started to look stronger and stronger over these past few outings. On the other side, Andrew Thurman, 0-1, a record of 0-1 with an ERA of 8.64. He pitched 3 relief innings back on Tuesday as the Bees got him for 1 run on 2 hits. His only start with the Chihuahuas featured him taking the L. He gave up 5 runs, 4 earned on 5 hits in 4 innings, as that game was during their recent outing against the Reno Aces. So that is your pitching matchup for the day. When we come back, we'll take our first look at the out-of-town scoreboard. This is the On Deck Circle, and it's on the KSL Sports Zone.
America First Credit Union has everything you need to get your money working. And for a limited time, new members get a $150 cash bonus for opening a checking account and $200 more for enrolling in and using direct deposit. If you're ready to do more with your money and get up to $350 cash, head to americafirst.com and become a member today. Subject to membership eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions. Additional requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Utah roads have commuters, can-doers, and cross-country viewers. But wherever our vehicles are headed, they've got one thing in common. They're ready for the road. Utah's first response to wildfire is prevention, not intervention. So let's check our chains, keep our vehicles maintained, and fight roadside fires together. FireSense is the first response.
I don't think anybody ever expects to hear that their child has cancer. It's always one of those things that happens to somebody else. But it definitely feels like your soul is sucked out of your body when they tell you that it's your baby. I knew that St. Jude was a children's hospital. I knew that no one ever received a bill from St. Jude, but I in no way understood how amazingly and completely they take care of their patients and their families. When we first got here, Hunter was in an incredible amount of pain, and St. Jude gave him the most superb care. Childhood cancer is devastating, but childhood cancer is beatable with St. Jude. To any of the donors, I would say bless you and thank you, because without the donors, St. Jude wouldn't be here.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome on back to the On Deck Circle. The Salt Lake Bees getting set to face the El Paso Chihuahuas. This is the early game this afternoon in the Pacific Coast League, along with Sugar Land at Round Rock. Tacoma's going to host Reno later in the afternoon. The night games, Albuquerque and the Sooner State to face the Comets. And the late game tonight in Sin City, the Sacramento River Cats at the Las Vegas Aviators. A number of games just getting started. No score, Nationals and the Mets early on. Padres at the Guardians. They're in a delay, though, before they get started. Bottom one in Cincinnati, no score, Marlins and the Reds. Donuts on the board between the White Sox and the Tigers in the top of the second. Also no score north of the border, Yankees at the Blue Jays top two. Pirates a 2-0 advantage over the Red Sox in the second. No score in Atlanta between the Diamondbacks and the Braves. They're in the same inning. Top six in Tampa. It's Baltimore 7 and the Rays 1. Later on this afternoon, Cardinals at the Cubs, Twins hosting the Phillies, Rockies in San Francisco, the Rangers at the A's, the Angels conclude their series with the Royals, it's the Brewers at the Dodgers, and the Sunday nighter, the Seattle Mariners at the Houston Astros. Here this afternoon, we have day baseball in far west Texas as it's the Bees and the El Paso Chihuahuas. When we come back, we have starting lineups and first pitches around the corner. This is the On Deck Circle on the KSL Sports Zone.
Escape the everyday with a quick trip to Cedar City. Just one tank of gas from the Wasatch Front, but a world away in experience. Hike through the cool, refreshing beauty of Canara Falls, where red rock walls and flowing water create a stunning natural escape. Then head up to Cedar Breaks National Monument, where the air is crisp, the views stretch for miles, and the night skies come alive with thousands of stars. And when the sun goes down, step into the spotlight at the world-renowned Utah Shakespeare Festival, where unforgettable stories unfold under the open sky. From outdoor adventure to rich arts and culture to peaceful, wide-open spaces, Cedar City is the kind of getaway that helps you slow down, breathe deeper, and reconnect. So whether you're chasing fresh mountain air, unforgettable scenery, or a night of incredible live performance, it's all waiting for you, closer than you think. Discover the art of adventure. Find your inspiration in Cedar City. Plan your getaway today at visitcedarcity.com.
In classrooms across the country, chronic absenteeism is on the rise.
Sophia A., grade 4, absent.
Julio M., grade 6, absent.
Aisha S., grade 12, absent.
These absences are often due to the absence of crucial needs, like transportation, health care, a working computer, mental health support. The list goes on.
Olivia H., absent.
Preston L., absent.
Chloe B., absent.
The reasons why they're absent are very real, and yet the solution is someone present to help them along their path. When site coordinators from communities and schools are on hand, they connect kids to the resources they need. And when they do, 99% of students are present and remain in school throughout the year.
Jacob O., grade 10.
Present.
Communities and Schools works directly with students, helping them overcome obstacles to succeed in school and in life. Learn more at communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
Welcome back to the On Deck Circle. Time now for the starting lineups, beginning with the Salt Lake Bees, managed by Doug Davis, the AAA affiliate of the Los Angeles Angels. 53-65, 14-30 in the second half. Christian Moore leads it off. He's at second base. Nelson Rada in center field in the 2 spot. Batting third, playing third, Pablo Reyes. The designated hitter is the cleanup hitter, Nico Cavadas. Jamer Candelario hitting fifth at first base. In right field, Rowdy Rodriguez batting sixth. Yelmer Sanchez in the 7 hole. He's at short. In left field, batting eighth, Cade Marlowe. And batting ninth for the Bees, the catcher, Logan Porter. On the mound for the Salt Lake Bees, Caden Dana, 2-5 on the season with an ERA of 5.63. Now the starting lineup for the El Paso Chihuahuas, AAA affiliate of the San Diego Padres, managed by Pete Zamora. 49-69 on the season, 14-29 in the second half. Dustin Harris in center field will lead it off. Shortstop Gage Workman is going to bat second. Carlos Rodriguez, the DH, is hitting third. Cleaning it up, Nick Solak in right field. Ethan Salas is the catcher batting fifth. Second baseman Marcos Castañon is hitting sixth. Nick Prado in the 7 spot at first. In the hot corner, it's Clay Dungan batting eighth. Bryce Johnson batting ninth in left field. And on the mound today for the El Paso Chihuahuas, Andrew Thurman, 0-1 with an ERA of 8.64. Ben Phillips is calling the balls and strikes today. Austin Snow at first base. It is Travis Brewer, the umpire, at third. The meeting is adjourned at the plate as they've exchanged lineup cards as starting pitchers continue to get loose. For the El Paso Chihuahuas, their home red jerseys with the white letters and numbers and the white pants and the black hat. For the Salt Lake Bees, the road grays with the pants, the jerseys, and on top of that, the black caps. It is Princess Day here at the ballpark. Moana, Jasmine, Rapunzel, and also Ariel, they're all out there today. Elsa and Anna taking photos and having a good time on the field and up there on the concourse. Don't forget, coming up on Saturday, those princesses will be at the ballpark in America First Square. So make sure to bring your princesses and dress in your princess best. That's August 22nd. Make sure to get there early for that game. And, of course, it is also daddy-daughter date night right there at the ballpark. So get your tickets at slbs.com for an unforgettable night right there in Daybreak. And we thank you so much for being with us all throughout this series. The Bees with that 6-pack against Reno coming up next week, Tuesday through Sunday. It all starts with family night. 4 tickets, $40. All brought to you by Holmes Homes. You can see the Utah Dirty Sodas on Wednesday night. Get the jerseys, the hats, the T-shirts. Come out, meet Swiggy. Get $3 Swig drinks while you're at the yard. You will love the environment and the sort of feel and the vibe with the Utah Dirty Sodas. It certainly is a family-friendly atmosphere and a good time for you and all the fans that will be out there. Bring your best friend on Thursday and join us for Thirsty Thursday coming up on Thursday night between those two teams. $6 beer and $3 soda. Kids get to run around the bases after the game on Friday and Saturday. So join us for the post-game kids run as well. And, of course, our Sunday games are on Sunday night, 6:05 first pitch. So at the ballpark at America First Square. Well, Chico, the mascot for the Chihuahuas, comes out of the third base dugout, and following him on the field, all of the El Paso Chihuahuas, they scatter to their positions. Coming out of the first base dugout, the Salt Lake Bees, they're taking their hats off as we get ready for the national anthem. Coming out on the third base side, the Chihuahuas players lining up on the edge of the warning track. A sun-splashed Sunday afternoon here at Southwest University Park. Before we get underway, we pause and take a listen to tonight's performance of the Star Spangled Banner.
Okay, by Kennedy Miller.
Your national anthem. We have the first pitch for the final game of this series. The Bees and the Chihuahuas coming up next on the KSL Sports Zone.
This has been another edition of the On Deck Circle. Get ready. First pitch is just moments away on 97.5 1280 The Zone and the Zone Sports Network.
Hey, this is Wick with Greenify Energy Savers. We've had some of the hottest summer temperatures on record, and our phones have been ringing off the hook with people complaining about how hot their home is. Well, the biggest culprit for this is the attic. Recently, I was in an attic that was 172 degrees. This is why your house is so hot and your AC is always running and can't keep up. At Greenify, we have a solution that really works. It's called Radiant Barrier Attic Foil. Radiant Barrier is a highly reflective foil that is stapled to the rafters in the attic. It reflects the sun's heat, which will make the attic and your home much, much cooler. Give Greenify a call today and we will brave the heat and go up in your attic and tell you how to get the cool comfort back in your home. We will also check out your insulation levels and attic ventilation, which will also help tremendously in making your home more energy efficient. And Greenify will make sure you get all the utility rebates that you're entitled to. Call us today and I won't even charge you for the visit. 801-948-4464. That's 801-948-4464. Or check us out online at greenifyenergysavers.com.
The lineups are set, and we're ready for another edition of Bees Baseball. The first pitch is just moments away. This is Salt Lake Bees Baseball on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Salt Lake Bees Baseball is on the air from Southwest University Park in downtown El Paso. It's the Sunday series finale between the Salt Lake Bees and the El Paso Chihuahuas. Tony Parks with you here once again from far west Texas. Back in our Zone Sports studios, it is Parker Long, and we are ready to go. The Bees were able to even things back up Friday. They rallied from a 4-run deficit last night to take a series lead. They erased a 3-run deficit in that ninth. They're ahead now, and they go for the series win today. Christian Moore, leadoff hitter, steps in the right-hand batter's box. It's the Bees. It's the Chihuahuas. It's a Sunday afternoon. We're at the ballpark, and there's no place I'd rather be. First pitch, outside corner, called strike. 12:09 is our first pitch, right on time. Christian Moore, 1 for 4 with a run batted in and a walk in yesterday's game. The right-hander, Andrew Thurman, 0-1, an ERA of 8.64, rocks and fires outside, and the count is 1-1. Nobody with a better on-base percentage in the PCL than Christian Moore. 8th in slug, 5th at OPS, 6th in walks. And a clutch walk in the 9th inning last night in that journey for the come-from-behind win. 1-1, check swing on the outside corner anyway. It's a strike, and it's 1-2. Moore, 4 for 15 in the series with a double, 2 runs batted in, and 4 walks. 69 walks on the season. That's the 3rd most in franchise history. The guy who set the mark, or at least tied it last year, was Nico Cavadas. 1-2, crack bat, soft liner, right side. It's going to get through and into right field, a base hit. Christian Moore, a leadoff single. That's the way to get the party started on this Sunday. A scattered and, as expected, sparse crowd, with it being a pretty warm day. And the Salt Lake Bees up 3-2. Nelson Rada coming off another 2-hit night. And those 2 hits were both doubles. That was his second career game with multiple doubles. Christian Moore at first, no score. Nobody out early on here in El Paso. Here comes the first pitch. Moore squares to bunt, pulls back inside corner, a called strike. And it's 0-1. 91 degrees is our temperature as we get started today. Nelson Rada batting .281 on the year, 17 doubles, 5 triples, 2 home runs. Leads the PCL in stolen bases with 32. He squares to bunt again, takes down. Is coming in at third was Dungan. Johnson in left, Harrison center, Solak is in right. Dungan in the hot corner, Workman at short, Castagnone at second, Prado at first. Salas behind the dish, Andrew Thurman on the mound. His second start since he's been with the Chihuahuas. The first one, he took the loss. Here's the 1-1. At the top of the zone, a strike, and it's 1-2. As he allowed 5 runs, 4 of them earned in his 4 innings at Reno. El Paso would win the final 3 games of that series. Suddenly they had won 5 out of 6 after losing 9 in a row at one point. The Bees recently had that 11-game slide, but they've been a different team since. Here's the 1-2. Rada takes up, and the count's even at 2 apiece. Well off the bag at third is Dungan, playing back, and he's really in the shortstop area as the infield is shifted hard to the right, but don't be surprised to see Rada lay a bunt down with 2 strikes. He's no stranger to that. Rada bouncing the bat back up and down. The pitch, Rada rips it just to the left of the shortstop. Workman lunges out, makes a phenomenal diving catch for out number 1. What a play! And Workman just did everything he could to lay out on a sinking line drive as it was hit to the opposite side of him as he was playing there in the shift. And he made an unbelievable catch, a SportsCenter top 10 type of catch. Nearly doubled off Moore over there at first base. As Rada is robbed of a hit. Here's Pablo Reyes. 1 out, 1 on. No score. Moore on the move. Squares to bunt. Pulls back. Gets a ball. Throw to second. Snag. Tag. And he is safe. Obstruction is going to be called by Workman, the shortstop. So dead ball. Safe is Christian Moore. So he did not go with a safe sign initially, as Moore had to slide around him and then reach his hand back, and right on top of it was third base umpire Travis Brewer. Now Pete Zamora out to argue it. Now, we had a quadruple ejection earlier in this series, one of the wildest sequences I've ever witnessed. And the conversation is on right now as Travis Brewer is talking with Pete Zamora. Now, right away, Travis Brewer threw his hands around and was calling that with no hesitation. The throw beat him by a ton. The tag certainly beat him. But they're saying that Workman was in the sliding path and in the base path and obstructed Christian Moore. So Moore at second, 1 out. Pablo Reyes in the box. I believe the count is 1-0. I did not see the finger gun from Ben Phillips, the home plate umpire. They have not indicated what the pitch was as of yet, but it should be 1-0. 1 down. Pablo Reyes, a 2-hit night last night. He has had a terrific series, and he has played well in this ballpark so far this year, hitting .344 here. A .310 hitter in his time with El Paso earlier this season, and after his time with El Paso, he jumped in with the Bees, and he changed the offense right away. Reyes, 4th best batting average in the PCL at .319. 25 doubles. That is 6th in the PCL. 7 for 16 during this week. 2 doubles and a triple. 3 multi-hit performances. 1-0. Squares to bunt, puts it up the third base line, right on the fringe. Up to get it as the third baseman Dungan tries to wait on it and see if it'll go foul. No chance, and they have no play. Christian Moore goes to third. Infield bunt single. Pablo Reyes. And the Bees have runners at the corners now with 1 down. Salt Lake has a number of guys who are excellent at bunting. Not just bunting to get somebody over, but also to get on. That was perfectly placed by Pablo Reyes, his 8th hit of the series. Here comes the red-hot Nico Cavadas. And now an ejection. As the argument continued, I believe it was from Pete Zamora, the manager. He's come out of the dugout now, and he's out to argue once again with third base umpire Travis Brewer. And I believe that this has continued from what happened after the obstruction call at second base. This is the second time in this series Zamora has been ejected. And for Zamora, the neck veins are poking out, and he has the finger gun pointing at the chest of Travis Brewer. He is letting him hear it, trying to get his money's worth before he leaves. He's standing out between the mound and third base. Now he's walking back towards Travis Brewer again. And he's letting him have an earful. Travis Brewer, arms folded. No look changing on his face whatsoever. And now Zamora still doesn't want to leave. He's going back after him again. And Zamora is going to receive an ovation from the crowd as his Sunday afternoon comes to an end early. Well, one thing I'm happy that they started to change in the game of baseball overall is the obstruction rule, because there was this very gray area and misunderstanding about what obstruction is and isn't. It's like obstruction existed except at the base. Well, now it has changed, because you cannot just stand in the sliding path and in the runner's path, and if you impede their progress in any way, it is obstruction. Travis Brewer called it. Pete Zamora didn't like it. He's been ejected. Runners at the corners, one down, no score. Nico Cavadas, who brought in the tying run with a base on balls yesterday, also had a 2-run single and a home run. It was a terrific night for Nico. First pitch takes outside, ball 1. Nico Cavadas, who was 3 for 4 in that game, 5 for 11 in this series with 5 runs batted in and 6 walks. Cavadas, in his first 10 games back off of the IL, was hitting 118. Fouls that back. Since then, batting 381. 3 straight games with a knock and a walk. This is the Nico Cavadas that we saw in the earlier part of this year and in the later part of last year. Runners at the corners, corners playing in. Infield shifted to the right. Holding from the stretch is Thurman. Takes a look in, kicks and deals, and Nico takes inside. 2 balls and a strike. His zone discipline has been one of the biggest strengths to his game. He tied the record for walks in a season last year with 75. That tied Reggie Willits, who set that record back in 2006. Here comes the 2-1. Cavadas grounds it hard. Right side through the hole, base hit. Trotting in from third is Moore. Rounding second on his way to third is Reyes. Stopping at first is Nico Cavadas. He picks up right where he left off last night with an RBI single, and it's 1-0 Salt Lake. Well, and right now, everything coming off the bat of Nico Cavadas is crispy. And that was the same story right there. Just a hard hit ground ball past the diving Prado at first and into right field. Right now, this offense has really started to find a nice groove, especially since the other night. Infield shifted right again. Here's Candelario. Switch hitter, left side. First pitch outside, ball 1. Candelario against Andrew Thurman in their history. Candelario's 2 for 9 with a triple and a home run. He sparked the big second inning on Friday night with a big hit. That was against Musgrove. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. As Musgrove retired the first 4 he faced until he faced Candelario, and then all of a sudden the Bees were up 3-0, then 5-0. They went on for an 8-2 victory. 1-1 pitch outside, 2 balls and a strike. Candelario, 11 major league seasons, 5 different major league organizations, 887 big league games. A dangerous switch hitter, standing tall in that left-hand batter's box. Reaches the bat back ready. An exhale from Thurman, the pitcher. He deals, and it's off speed and in there. A strike just above the top of the zone, and it's 2-2. I should say above the belt. It may have still been in the zone. Candelario did not like that call, as he was looking back at home plate umpire Ben Phillips. 1-0 Bees, 1 out, 2 on, top 1. The 2-2. Candelario takes down and away. And Jamers had some timely walks for this team as well. Salt Lake with 599 walks this year. That has been the most they've ever had through 118 games. That leads all of AAA. Fly ball, center field, shallow, long run. The shortstop Workman coming in. Harris, it's going to drop. Coming in from third and on his way to score is Pablo Reyes. Sliding into second, Cavadas. An RBI duck snort single for Jamer Candelario. It's 2-0 Bees. Well, the Bees have done this now with 4 hits in the inning, and some of them have been hard hit, and some of them have been soft, like that one right there. They've had an infield bunt single, and a little dying quail from Jamer Candelario. Nico ripped one, Moore ripped one. Rada was robbed. This has been a great start for Salt Lake. 2-0 and looking for more. Here is Rowdy Rodriguez. Right-hand batter. Open stance. First pitch. Rowdy takes inside for a ball. Rodriguez, who brought in the eventual winning run with a bases-loaded walk in the top of the 9th inning in a tie game. He is still 0 for 7, though, with runners in scoring position. Here's the 1-0. Foul tipped it into the glove, and the count is 1-1. 2-0 Salt Lake, 1 out, with runners at first and second. I mentioned Salt Lake's offense. Boy, the last 3 games, they've really turned it up. 8 runs and a loss back on Thursday, 8 runs and a win back on Friday, and 8 runs last night. 1-1 fly ball deep towards right, ranging back, but with a beat on it, Solak, he'll make the catch. Tagging and bluffing at second is Cavadas. The throw coming in is strong. Runners hold, 2 down. And it'll bring up Yelmer Sanchez. Sanchez with a 3-hit game earlier this week. Leads the team in runs batted in with 16. 5 for 13 in this series, 3 runs batted in. Sanchez, the switch hitter from the left-hand side. And the Bees have not won a 6-game series during the second half of the year. And it was when they played the Chihuahuas back in May, that's when this team got hot. First pitch to Yelmer. Down the boulevard for a strike, 0-1. It was the start of a 7 straight series window there, where the Bees went without a loss. They were 4-0-3. But since then, the Bees started the second half with a split with Albuquerque. They've dropped every 6-gamer since the 0-1. Just outside, this is going to be challenged by Salas, the catcher. 1-1 the count, 2 down, 2-0 Bees. The announcement from home plate umpire Ben Phillips, and the review said it was outside. Call is confirmed. El Paso down to 1 challenge. That was nearly 2 inches off the plate. Well, the only series Salt Lake has won in the second half was a 3-gamer against Reno. That was at home right after the All-Star break. And speaking of the Aces, this pitch is cut on a miss, 1-2. The Bees will start a 6-gamer with Reno coming up right after the All-Star break. Infield pulled hard to the right. Well off the bag at third, medium depth is Dungan. Cavadas the runner at second, Candelario the runner at first. Sanchez in the box, the 1-2. Foul tipped into the glove, strike 3, nice squeeze Salas. The inning is over, but the Bees played a pair on 4 hits. No errors, we had an ejection, and 2 runners left on base. We go to the bottom of the first, 2 for the Bees. El Paso coming to bat on the KSL Sports Zone.
Roseman University of Health Sciences, the proud educational sponsor of the Salt Lake Bees, is a private nonprofit institution located in South Jordan, Utah, training the next generation of competent, compassionate healthcare providers in nursing, pharmacy, dentistry, and graduate studies, as well as providing high-quality, affordable dental care to underinsured and uninsured Utah families. Roseman University is transforming education, reimagining healthcare, racing discovery, and committed to community. Learn more at roseman.edu.
Picture this. You pull into your driveway, and for the first time in a long time, you love what you see. Beautiful new siding, bright, energy-efficient windows, gutters that protect your home year-round, and a deck that makes the backyard feel brand new. Not someday, not after 1 more year. With RGS Exteriors, the home you've been wanting can start today.
Hi, Tim Brown here, RGS Exteriors. My family has been building and improving homes in Utah for 5 generations, and taking care of homeowners is something we take very serious. With over 1,300 5-star Google reviews, 21 Best of State awards, and our 10-year workmanship warranty, homeowners know they can trust RGS. Over 200,000 families across Utah have trusted RGS Exteriors with their home, and so can you. Schedule your free estimate today at 801-280-3110, 801-280-3110.
Bottom of the first inning, he's up 2-0 against the El Paso Chihuahuas. Caden Dana's on the mound after his rock-solid performance in Game 1 of this series. He allowed just 2 runs in his 6 innings of work, walked only 1, and allowed 5 hits. He's going to face Dustin Harris, who's leading it off for the Chihuahuas today. Dustin Harris coming off of a 3-hit game. With a double and 3 runs batted in, he's played well against the Bees in his career. This is his 30th game in the career for Dustin Harris against Salt Lake, batting .373 against them. 10 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, and he hit for the cycle against the Bees last year in Daybreak. First pitch, and he fouls it back 0-1. Harris 8 for 18 in the series, 3 doubles, a couple of stolen bases, 7 runs batted in. Played for Doug Davis at Round Rock last season. Doug Davis, now the manager of the Salt Lake Bees. Harris, left-hand batter against the righty Dana, and he fires outside for a ball. The Salt Lake Bees leading the series 3-2 after another 1-run victory last night. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and it's low, 2 balls and a strike. That was their 17th 1-run victory of the year. They're now 17-12 in 1-run games. It was also their 37th comeback victory of the season. 2-1 from Dana to Harris. It's popped up, foul behind, out of play. Salt Lake with more come-from-behind wins than anybody in AAA, as they were a combined 2-56 on the year when trailing going into the 9th. Before last night, before this series, they were 0-27 on the road when trailing going into the 9th. 2-2 pitch inside, and the count's at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the Bees out-hit El Paso, now giving them a 37-7 record when they out-hit the other team. 15-4 on the road when they do that. Count full, bases empty, nobody out, bottom 1, and the pitch darts down, ball 4. Caden Dana walked the leadoff man back in Game 1, did not walk another hitter the rest of the way. He's walked the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the first in Game 6. And what an exciting opportunity today for Caden Dana, and what an encouraging performance for him back on Tuesday. You know, that was his best start and his first quality start since June the 5th. Harris with the lead over there first, 17 stolen bases, taken off, first pitch. It's outside a ball, throw to second, snag, tag, safe. Another stolen base, that's the 18th of this series for El Paso. And they have been taking off at will. That has been a real problem for Salt Lake's pitching this year. You can look at the ERA and be very critical of that, no doubt, as they've had their hot and cold moments pitching. One of the biggest weaknesses of this staff is their inability to hold runners. 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Defensive alignment today for the Bees. Marlowe in left, Rada in center, Rodriguez in right. Reyes at third, Sanchez at short, Moore at second with Candelario at first. Porter behind the dish, Caden Dana on the bump. He takes a look back at the runner at second, Harris. Now turns and deals. Off speed and outside, 3-0. Gage Workman, 0 for 5 last night with a strikeout. 2 for 16 in this series with 2 runs batted in. Playing really well over his last 21 games collectively. Here comes the 3-0 pitch from Dana to Gage Workman. Just outside, ball 4, and runners at first and second, nobody out after back-to-back walks to start the bottom of the first. 2-0 Bees, nobody out, and here is Carlos Rodriguez. Carlos Rodriguez hitting .333 over his last 21 games. He has reached safely in 60 of his last 65. That goes back to a battle against Salt Lake on May the 16th. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. Squares to bunt, pulls back, takes down, ball 1. And already, Caden Dana has struggled with command. Dana, 11 pitches so far, only 2 have been strikes. Runners with their leads, corners in. Rodriguez will not square to bunt. pull back and rip out to left on a line. Marlowe is there, though. Doesn't have to move far. Makes the catch for out number one. Runners are going to hold at first and second. It's a big first out there for Dana. Struggling to throw strikes. And Rodriguez got a decent piece of that. It wasn't deep by any means. And it was good coming off the bat. It just happened to be right at Marlowe. So good break there for Dana. Now you hope he can settle in after that first out. Nick Solak, 0 for 4 with a run batted in last night. Fifth best batting average in the PCL. At 317 among qualified hitters. 1 out, 2 on, 2-0 Salt Lake, bottom one. Solak arms up as he takes over the inside part of the plate for a strike. 0-1. Solak, 259 Major League games in his career. Played with Texas, Seattle, Atlanta, and Detroit. 3 straight opening day rosters that he was a part of with the Rangers. 0-1. Fouled back behind home plate and over everything. And it bounces off the facing of the suites and to the lower deck, and the fans were not ready again. Another error. Their defensive fielding percentage just has not been good during this series. A lot of times they're just not on their toes. They're not ready for it. Runners on the move, and the pitch is lined out to left. It's right at Marlowe again. He makes the catch. Throw back to second. Here comes Harris, head first slide, and he is safe. They don't get the double play, but they do get another out. A couple of hard-hit liners out to left, back-to-back. One Rodriguez, one Solak, and both turning into outs. That was a good hit-run situation with great contact. The Bees were lucky for another atom ball. That'll bring up Ethan Salas. Entered this year as San Diego's #1 prospect. 2 on, 2 out, 2-0 Salt Lake, bottom one. Caden Dana stares back at Harris at second base. He walked 2 to start this inning. First pitch outside to Salas. And it's 1-0. It's Ethan Salas, who did not play in yesterday's game, 6 for 14 during this series. He's had a great start to his time with the El Paso Chihuahuas. The 1-0. And it's low, 2 balls and no strikes. Salas hitting .360 in this early chapter with 5 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. And one of those doubles during this series. 4 runs batted in during this series with a couple of walks. He was the #1 international prospect in the 23 draft class. Here comes the 2-0 from Caden Dana to Ethan Salas. And Salas flies it high and deep to right field, or center field. Going back is Rada, still going back at the track. It's off the base of the wall. Rounding third and coming in to score is Harris. Workman behind him. Here comes the relay. Throw to the plate on a bounce. Head first slide. Save. 2-run double Ethan Salas, and we're tied at 2 here in the bottom of the first. Well, Salas with a great rip, and it was to straightaway center, and then it tailed to the left of center. Rada had a good beat on it, but it was just too far for him and hit the bottom of the fence. And Ethan Salas with a big 2-out swing to tie this game. You could sense it, solid contact from Rodriguez and Solak, but it came up empty. But Salas was able to deliver. Here's Marcos Castañon. Castañon drove in a run last night, reached 3 times. He was 2 for 3. Infield pulled to the left. Here's the first pitch from Dana. Bouncer down the right side, the vacated spot into right field, a base hit. Rounding third and scoring with ease is Salas. On his way to second on the play now with a swipe tag, and unsuccessful on the tag attempt was Sanchez. Into second, Castañon with an RBI double, and it's 3-2 El Paso. Well, that was tough for the Bees, because if they're able to execute that on the throw and tag with Castañon going to second base, this would have negated the run, as that was a timing play. And if Sanchez was able to put it on him, with Salas taking his time going to the plate, it would have kept that run from scoring. But now El Paso in the lead, 3-2. Here's Nick Prado. 2 out, runner at second. And Prado takes on the outside corner for a strike. Nick Prado, who did not play in yesterday's game, 2 for 8 in this series with a double, 3 runs batted in. Reached in 18 straight games going back to July 19th. Left-hand batter ready, 0-1, down and in. And the count's a ball and a strike. On Nick Prado, who was a Little League World Series hero. I know we had the Little League World Series tournaments going on here in the month of August. Well, he was a walk-off hero in the championship game with a knock to beat Japan in the finale. Here's the 1-1. It's outside. 2 balls and a strike. Prado, a .279 hitter with runners in scoring position. Castañon at second. 3 for El Paso, 2 for the Bees in this Sunday series finale. Bottom of the first, 2 down. Here comes the 2-1. Prado skies it high and deep to right. Going back Rodriguez, and this ball is gone. Over the high fence in right field. Nick Prado with his 10th long ball of the season. It's a 5 spot in the first for El Paso, and they now lead 5-2. Well, Nick Prado did not leave much doubt about this one. He got underneath it and grooved it high and hard, deep to right. All 5 runs have now been plated with 2 outs in this bottom of the first inning. That's 5 swings in a row, I should say, that have been hard hit balls against Caden Dana. They've been hitting him right on the screws. Here's Clay Dungan, 8th hitter to step to the plate during this inning. First pitch. Dungan squares the bunt, fouls it straight back. It's 0-1. Clay Dungan, 320th game as a Chihuahua, 4th all-time. Infield shifted hard to the right. Dana, who had a quality start back in game number 1, it's been a different story here in game 6. Dungan takes below the knees, and it's 1-1. Clay Dungan, a .225 hitter all-time against the Bees, 6 doubles and a home run. Left-hand batter, slightly open stance. Lays the bat down on his shoulder blade, now picks it up. Here comes the 1-1. And it's down and in, 2 balls and a strike. Well, for Dana, this has just been a tough outing. Struggled throwing strikes early, and then when he has been throwing strikes, they've been right on top of him. 26 pitches, 11 of them strikes, 5 runs already in for El Paso. Bottom of the first, 2-1. Smoked to right on a rope. It's down for a base hit. Another hit in this inning. 4 in a row now for El Paso, and now all 9 come to the plate in the first inning. Bryce Johnson now will come up. Johnson 1 for 5 with 2 Ks last night. He's hit safely in 9 of his last 10. The pitching coach of the Bees, Shane Lukes, is out to talk with Caden Dana. It goes to show just how different one start can be to the next. I always find it interesting, the Tuesday starter, no matter how they perform in game number 1. If it's a poor start, you want to see how things might be different in game 6, and oftentimes it is. But also, in a game 1 start in the PCL, when a guy goes out there and pitches the way Caden Dana did, you're curious to see how the opponent then adjusts to the success that they had. And then if you're the starter, clearly you don't want to change much because you had success with it. But at the same time, you don't want to do the exact same thing because you know what they may be sitting on. I think it's one of the biggest challenges to being great at this level or any level professionally, because eventually the book gets out on you. And you just have to be great with your stuff, and it becomes the little things that make the big difference to go on and try to have success game after game. Bryce Johnson, left-hand batter in the box. Runner at first, 2 down. It's 5-2 El Paso. Squares to bunt, pulls back, takes a strike. In those last 10 games for Bryce Johnson, batting .300, 5 extra base hits, an on-base percentage at .364. He had a 7-game hit streak coming into this series, but the Bees have kept him in check. Pitch at the knees for a strike, and it's 0-2. Johnson 3 for 16 in this series with a triple and 2 stolen bases. Dungan over there at first, 7 for 8 stealing bases this year. Sidestepping to his lead, Oven Mitt on the left hand, hands on his knees. Here comes the 0-2 from Caden Dana. Long hold from the chest. Kicks and fires. Outside. And the count's at a ball and 2 strikes. Dana now at 30 pitches here in this first inning. Infield pulled hard to the right. Dana, long exhale. Here comes the 1-2. Runner on the move. Pitch outside. No throw. No chance. Another stolen base here for El Paso. 2 in this inning. They've been taking off and moving a ton during this series. 19 stolen bases during this week. Runner in scoring position now. 2 down. And the 2-2 pitch flailed at and missed in the dirt. Strike 3. Tag applied on the hip, and the inning is over. But 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. All 5 runs scored with 2 down. It's now 5 for El Paso, 2 for the Bees. We go to the second on the KSL Sports Zone.
Every 65 seconds, someone in the United States develops Alzheimer's disease. Many don't even know it.
I was lucky. We caught this at the very earliest stages. Pieces of my past are being erased.
Bright Focus Foundation's Alzheimer's Disease Research Program has invested more than $175 million in breakthrough research. Call us at 1-855-345-6237 or visit us online at brightfocus.org/brainhealth to learn more.
IFA knows the secret when it comes to growing a thick, green, healthy lawn this summer. And you could say those roots run deep. Deep roots help your lawn better absorb water and help prevent damage during the dry months ahead. Our expert team can coach you through all the variables, like combining our locally formulated 4+ lawn care fertilizers with our recommended soil surfactants. Stop by or visit ifa.coop today to learn more. IFA, helping you grow the things you love.
America First Credit Union has everything you need to get your money working. And for a limited time, new members get a $150 cash bonus for opening a checking account and $200 more for enrolling in and using direct deposit. If you're ready to do more with your money and get up to $350 cash, head to americafirst.com and become a member today. Subject to membership eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions. Additional requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Yeah. Top of the second inning, Bees down 5-2. It'll be Cade Marlowe, Logan Porter, and Christian Moore. 8-9-1 hitters, 2 up for the Bees. We remind you, Tuesday night, the Bees are back at home against the Reno Aces. Join us for family night. 4 tickets, $40. It's brought to you by Holmes Homes. Take advantage of the best ticket deal in minor league baseball right there at the ballpark at America First Square. Go to slbees.com. Cade Marlowe leads off the inning. Takes down and in for a ball. Cade Marlowe was hitless in the series until the 9th inning last night. He was a key part of that 9th inning rally. The Bees erased a 3-run deficit and went on for an 8-7 win. Pitches low, 2 balls and no strikes. Second inning of work for Andrew Thurman. Thurman allowed 4 hits in that first inning. And the Bees would plate 2. They trail 5-2. Cade Marlowe 1 for 13 in this series. And gets a good hold of this one deep to right field. Going back is Solak, looking up, and that ball is fair and gone. Over the short porched wall, but by a mile. Cade Marlowe with a solo blast to start off this top of the second. That's his 4th leadoff home run of the season. And the Bees have cut the deficit to 5-3 here in the second. Well, that sounded great coming off the bat of Marlowe. My goodness, this guy can tear it up in a hurry. I know he started this series 0 for 12. But this is just a guy, it feels like it's a matter of when he's going to find his groove in a series or at any point of the year. He's now reached in 15 of his first 18 games in a Bees uniform. Logan Porter takes outside for a ball. Porter 1 for 7 in the series. Porter, a defensive replacement last night. Right-hand batter ready. And Porter gets a hold of it deep to left. It's hooking and foul off the upper deck seats, and it plops down into left field. It's one of those days where most of the fans are tucked in under the shade. You'll see some of them out in the sunlight. A ton of umbrellas out there from fans sitting in the sun-spotted areas. But everybody else out there on the concourse and in those back rows. Here comes the 1-1. Porter takes up, and the count's 2 balls and a strike. Bees down 5-3. Some low-scoring games earlier in the series, higher-scoring games in the back part of the series. Salt Lake's offense has produced exactly 8 runs in each of the last 3 games. 2-1 pitch popped up behind home plate. That's going to go out of play. Counts 2-2. Logan Porter, who was a great addition to the staff. I mean, a true extension of a coaching staff, but also so good with different pitchers. The way he'll mentally process the game, he's as good as anybody. Originally a position player. Here's the 2-2. Porter takes off speed and up. This is going to be challenged by the catcher, Salas. He thought it hit the zone. Then Phillips with the announcement. El Paso down to one challenge, and now they're out of challenges. That was high. Well, both misses by Salas, the catcher. I got to be honest, they weren't really close. I was surprised that he challenged that one. So here comes the pitch to Porter. And Porter takes outside, ball 4. That is walk number 600 on the season for the Salt Lake Bees. The most in the Pacific Coast League. The most the team has ever had this late into the season. That was a big part of Salt Lake coming away victorious, was the zone discipline, working yourself into a good count, then drawing a walk. It was the pitches they didn't swing at. And that set them up for some of the big numbers they've had over the past few games. That includes Christian Moore, 6th in walks in the PCL. He singled and scored in the first pitch swinging. Comes up empty, 0-1. El Paso 5, Salt Lake 3, top of the second, nobody out. Cade Marlowe led off the inning with a solo shot homer. Back in game 2 of the series, Christian Moore had his 10th 3-hit game of the year. Infield shifted left, and the 0-1 is down. 1 ball and 1 strike, Christian Moore, who has 10 home runs this season, but has not homered since July 3rd. One of his home runs this year against El Paso, that was back in daybreak. 1-1, off speed, upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. And for Christian Moore, he had such a hot June. It really looked like he was going to be player of the month in June. But he wasn't, but for a good reason. He got called up. Fouls it back, 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's the top of the netting. Plops down between home plate and the on-deck circle, first base side. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. 5-3 El Paso. Porter over there at first, not a base-stealing threat. With a moderate lead, sidestepping out. Infield shifted left. Thurman, the righty, holds from the chest. A breath and a 2-2 pitch. It's outside. It gets away from the catcher. Salas bounces right back to him, but Porter is going to get into second. A wild pitch. Boy, when it bangs off the bricks behind home plate, you wonder for a second if Salas has a chance to get Porter. But Salas decided to eat it. Porter in scoring position now. Nobody out. The count's now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Thurman had some struggles back in the first. He's had a tough time to start off this second inning. 3-2 pitch. Moore swings and misses, strike 3. Big K there for Thurman. He's been trying to straighten some things out. His fastball really isn't dominant when you look at its velocity by any means. It was coming in at 89, but the sinker's at 91, and that's what he got him with. To strike out Christian Moore, 5-3 El Paso, top of the second. Here is Nelson Rada. He was robbed of a base hit with a sinking liner nabbed by Workman, the shortstop. First pitch. Rada swings and misses over the top of a slider down by a shoot top. It's 0-1. Nelson Rada, 10 for 31 this year against El Paso. With a couple of doubles as he picked those both up last night. This guy just continues to flourish in a Bees uniform. Open stance, left side. Here comes the 0-1. Line drive down the left field line, slicing, foul, just wide of the chalk. Over on the warning track. Rada in the runner's lane, still holding on to the bat, turns around in frustration. As that one looked like it was headed for extra bases and it would bring in Porter for sure. Rada is such a great opposite field hitter. It's so impressive. It's amazing how often he can deposit one right down the left field line and to drop it in fair. He just missed there. Alonzo Powell, the hitting coach, has talked a lot about Rada needing to use the middle of the field even more. Well, with that said, he said, this guy's just excellent at hitting to the opposite field, especially when teams play him with a shift or in any key situation. 0-2 pitch is up, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He said, it's especially the case when he's behind in the count like he is right now. He can wait on it, just punch it the other way. Rada also at danger to drop down a bunt. Just such great speed. He puts a lot of stress on a defense. 1 out, 1 on. 5-3 El Paso. The 1-2. It's inside, chest high. Leaning back was Rada, and the count's even 2 apiece. Sinker at 91. Porter backpedaling to his lead at second in conversation with the shortstop Workman. Looking back at him, Thurman the pitcher. Looks back at him again. Knee up, foot down, fires, down and in. And it counts 3-2. We started him with soft stuff, going slider change, and then, the fastball, and then all of a sudden the slider again. Let's see what he goes with here on this 3-2 pitch. Rada bouncing the bat, up and down. Here comes the 3-2 from Thurman. Inside, ball 4, second walk of the inning, 2 on, 1 out. 5-3 El Paso, and you could feel it early on. It just has the makings of one of those high-scoring PCL games. I always say the PCL stands for playing chutes and ladders. Today is about to be evidence. It's going to feel like no lead is safe out there, especially if Thurman is going to struggle with command. The way El Paso jumped on Caden Dana. It's 5-3 El Paso right now. But the offense is going to try to dig in and barrel him up a time or two. Pablo Reyes dropped down a bunt back in the first inning to get on. This is another guy that will cause a lot of stress for a defense because, when he's not depositing a ball over the wall or ripping it through the alley, the moment he thinks that you're a foot too far back, he'll lay one down along the fringe of that third base line. And right now, the third baseman Dungan is playing, back about 3/4 depth. We'll see what they do. First and second, 1 out. Runners with their leads. Reyes in the box, first pitch. And it's low, 1-0. Pablo Reyes, who has now reached in 18 of his 20 games with Salt Lake. A .322 hitter with runners in scoring position. Bright yellow gloves, waving the bat over the top of his head, very Sheffield-like. It's 1-0. It's topped foul as it bounces softly into the third base dugout. We'll do it 1-1. Now, it's not quite as exaggerated as a Gary Sheffield, bob up and down, but when you watch him, the way he's kind of bouncing that bat over the top of his helmet, it is reminiscent to that. 1 out, 2 on. The pitch. Reyes watches it outside in the river. 2 balls and a strike. Even if they don't like the call, El Paso is out of challenges. Thurman, frustrated with himself, stares out to the batter's eye, tries to reset. He's at 52 pitches right now. El Paso holding a 5-3 lead. Porter at second, Rada at first. Here comes the 2-1 to Reyes. Reyes fouls it back. Boy, he took a heavy hack. Got the pitch he wanted and missed it as he turns around in a bit of disgust. He's kind of gripping his hand in and out as he now grabs the handle of the bat and steps back in. Well, you can tell that's the pitch he wanted. He was sitting on it, and he just missed it. Here comes the 2-2. Check, swing, grounder right to the shortstop Workman. He underhands to second for one. Castagnone to first. They roll him up. No team has more double plays defensively in all of professional baseball than the El Paso Chihuahuas. They end the inning 6-4-3, and we go to the bottom of the second. It's now El Paso 5, Salt Lake 3 on the KSL Sports Zone.
Right now, JCW's has 15 bus and billboards depicting our delicious, mouth-watering hamburgers across I-15. We've also just learned that I-15 averages 15 fender benders a day. Probably a coincidence, but just in case, keep your eyes on the road. Here's what our burgers sound like. Now with your hands at 10 and 2, safely turn into one of our 5 locations at American Fork, Lehigh, Provo, South Jordan, and Harriman. JCW's. Quality and a lot of it.
Escape the everyday with a quick trip to Cedar City. Just 1 tank of gas from the Wasatch Front, but a world away in experience. Hike through the cool, refreshing beauty of Canara Falls, where red rock walls and flowing water create a stunning natural escape. Then head up to Cedar Breaks National Monument, where the air is crisp, the views stretch for miles, and the night skies come alive with thousands of stars. And when the sun goes down, step into the spotlight at the world-renowned Utah Shakespeare Festival, where unforgettable stories unfold under the open sky. From outdoor adventure to rich arts and culture to peaceful, wide-open spaces, Cedar City is the kind of getaway that helps you slow down, breathe deeper, and reconnect. So whether you're chasing fresh mountain air, unforgettable scenery, or a night of incredible live performance, it's all waiting for you, closer than you think. Discover the art of adventure. Find your inspiration in Cedar City. Plan your getaway today at visitcedarcity.com.
97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Minuteman. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Bottom of the second inning. It is El Paso 5, Salt Lake 3 here tonight as we have Sunday afternoon baseball in El Paso. Wonderful afternoon. Caden Dana's day is done. The Salt Lake Bees have already gone to the bullpen. Leonard Garcia on the mound. First pitch swinging. Dustin Harris sends it high and into right field. Coming to his right, Rodriguez, the right fielder, will have room and he'll make the catch for out number one. And so, Caden Dana's final line, 1 inning of work, 4 hits, 5 runs all earned, walked 2, struck out 1, 32 pitches, 15 of them for strikes. I don't know if he was hurt in any way, but he has been taken out of the game very early. Here's Workman, takes outside for a ball. El Paso up 5-3 with Gage Workman, who walked back in the first inning and would come around to score. As Dana started his day with back-to-back walks. Leonard Garcia, lefty on lefty against Workman. And Workman fouls it left side off the netting. And the count is 1-1. It's been a unique series with the work of the starters and then also the bullpen. As Garcia comes into the second inning and plunks Gage Workman. Hit him right in the back. While he was twisting around, he throws the bat down in frustration. Certainly not on purpose, but it was a painful one. He starts to take off the gear. He'll head down to first base.
Carlos Rodriguez.
That brings up Carlos Rodriguez. 1 out, 1 on. Rodriguez flied out to left field. Garcia, who had 2 outings so far in this series, got the win back in game 1, 2/3 of an inning scoreless. Throw over to first, and back with the head first slide is Workman. Workman, 21 stolen bases on the season. For Garcia, his last outing, it was back on Friday night. Allowed 1 earned run in 2/3, runner on the move, and the pitch is fouled back. It's 0-1. Workman's going to return. And once again, this offensive El Paso is not going to be hesitant to take off. They have some good base stealers, but on top of that, they've noticed Salt Lake just has not done a great job of holding runners on. 19 stolen bases in this series. And the pitch is scalded on the ground, but foul, right side off the facing of the camera well. It'll roll down into the right field area. And we'll do it at no balls and 2 strikes. Garcia, currently in his 6th full season in the Angels organization. Joined as a free agent in 2019. Joined a distinguished group of major leaguers from Barcelona, Venezuela, which includes Williams Astudillo, Alexi Amarista, former Salt Lake Bee, 0-2. Fouled off of the foot of the catcher, Porter. Porter had his leg out, and reaching out and just getting a piece of it was Carlos Rodriguez. 0-2 the count, 5-3 the score. El Paso on top, 1 down. Workman at first. We're in the bottom of the second. Workman creeps out to his lead. Garcia looks at him. Holds from the chest, kicks and deals, and it's high. 1-2. Victor Reyes, also from the same area. Current Dodgers catcher Eliezer Alfonso. We saw him last week in Salt Lake. He's from the same area as Leonard Garcia. Here comes the 1-2. Inside. And the count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes. A 23-16 record in the minors for Garcia. An ERA of 4.88. Over 159 games. Made his AAA debut with the Bees last week. Next pitch scorched. He threw the whole right side base hit. On the move was Workman. He's on his way into third. Stop sign up. He takes a look for the ball. As into first base, Carlos Rodriguez with a one-out single. Runners at the corners here in the bottom of the second. And once again, great contact on a hit and run. And this offense has been seeing the ball very well today. As that is the 5th hit now. They had 4 hits in a row back in that first inning on back-to-back hitters, and that was after 2 hard hit balls to left that went right to Marlowe. So time after time, they've been able to barrel up Dana back in the first, and that was a hard hit ball against Rodriguez. Nick Solak takes at the top of the zone for a strike, 0-1. 5-3 El Paso. Bottom 2, 1 out. Solak, who lined out to left field back in that first inning. And that was on a hit and run situation, and sadly the Bees were not able to get a double play as the 0-1 is high. As on that play, Harris was well off the bag, and Marlowe made a strong throw into second, and Harris just did get back. From the stretch, Garcia. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Kicks and deals, and it's lined down the left field line. That's hooking foul. More solid contact from the offense of El Paso. You could probably hear it on the broadcast. I mean, that ball is just jumping off of the bat. I mean, they are hitting it perfectly on the barrel. Whether it's on the ground or in the air, it's moving in a hurry. Infield shifted left. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Garcia. Runner on the move, and it's popped up right side. Stopping at second and retreating is Rodriguez. Catching it is the first baseman Candelario. Takes it to the bag in time, and that will end the inning. 3 unassisted on the double play. The inning is done. We go to the third. It's 5-3 El Paso.
You don't know what you got till it's gone has never been more true than when your water heater goes out and you hop in the shower. Your body first shivers and then you go into survival mode by letting out a shrieklet, which is like a shriek, just smaller, followed by unnecessary running in place and jazz hands. Look, there are really only 2 kinds of people in this world that need cold showers: pioneers and plungers. So unless your name is Laura Ingalls or Joe Rogan, cold showers aren't for you. At Shamrock Plumbing, we know what to do when your ungrateful water heater stops showing up for work. Give us a call and we'll get you back to those scalding temperatures you've grown accustomed to over the years. Shamrock Plumbing.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Top of the third inning. Bees trail 5-3 against the El Paso Chihuahuas. Nico Cavadas, Jamer Candelario, Rowdy Rodriguez, middle of the order. 2 up against Andrew Thurman. Join us on Wednesday nights at the ballpark at America First Square for the Dirty Sodas. Come meet Swiggy, have a great time at $3 Swig drinks, and you're going to love the family-friendly atmosphere. Wednesday nights at the ballpark at America First Square. That includes this one Wednesday when the Bees face the Reno Aces. Nico Cavadas, an RBI single in the first, leads off the inning and takes on the outside corner for a strike. A cleanup hitter, but excellent when leading off an inning, batting .387. 4 of his 8 home runs have been leadoff home runs. The 0-1. Ground ball softly hit and rolled to Castañon, the second baseman. He'll take his time, field and toss to first gently for out number 1. An easy play there for Castañon. 1 out, nobody on. El Paso 5, Salt Lake 3. Here's Jamer Candelario. Candelario singled back in the first. As the Bees played at 2 in that first inning. Switch hitter from the left side. And takes outside for a ball. We had an ejection in this game as Obstruction was called when Christian Moore was swiping second base. It was called on Workman, the shortstop. Pete Zamora, the manager of El Paso, was tossed. Candelario takes outside, and it's 2-0. Caden Dana was the starting pitcher for the Bees tonight. Just one inning of work as he allowed 5 runs back in that first inning. That pitch is outside. 3 balls and no strikes. And so a strange start to this one. Thurman has struggled with the zone at times today. Candelario taking all the way. That's a strike. As Candy certainly has not wanted to help him out in any way. Thurman has been behind in the count a ton. He's allowed some free passes. That's inside, and that's ball 4. And Jamer Candelario aboard with a base on balls. Thurman walked 2 back in that second inning. Here is Rowdy Rodriguez. He flied out to right field back in the first. Rowdy Rodriguez has 3 runs batted in, but none of them have been on a hit. So they've been a walk or a ground out. First pitch, outside corner, a strike, and it's 0-1. Rodriguez 3 for 15 in this series, 2 runs batted in, but overall, you have to love his work last season and this season in the system. 0-1. Outside, it gets away from the catcher Salas, a wild pitch. And going to second base is Candelario. 1 out, runner in scoring position. Rodriguez 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. With Rodriguez, who was playing in the Complex League in 23 and 24, nobody had really heard of him, and then started climbing the ladder last year, was the Angels Minor League Player of the Year in 2025. Just really started to flex. This is his AAA debut season now. Here comes the 1-1. Rowdy bounces it left side. Nice pick by the third baseman Dungan. Straightens up and throws to first in plenty of time to get Rodriguez. Holding at second is Candelario. Well, that was not easy. He had to kind of reach out and pick it on a short hop. As he reached out to his left, and he played that well. 2 out, runner at second. 5-3 El Paso in this top of the third. Yolmer Sanchez struck out back in the first inning. The Bees played at 2 in the top half of the first. El Paso turned around with a 5 spot in the bottom half. Salt Lake with a solo homer from Cade Marlowe in the second. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Yolmer Sanchez, a .304 hitter with runners in scoring position. The clubhouse leader on this team. Switch hitter from the left-hand side. Reaches the bat back ready. Thurman checks the runner at second and fires, and it's up. A ball and a strike. Thurman at 64 pitches now. As the Bees been able to put some pressure on him in each inning so far. 34 of these pitches from Thurman have been strikes. As that misfires, and the count is now at 2 balls and a strike. It's now officially 67 pitches and 34 strikes. Bees lead the series 3-2. They trail game 6 today, 5-3. Sanchez looking for a knock to cut into that lead. The pitch is outside, and it is 3-1. Well, for Thurman, while the Bees have 3 runs on you, if you're Salt Lake, you really want to make it hurt with how often he has struggled finding command and how often he is missing in the zone with great pitches to hit. 3-1. Sanchez puts it high in the air, got underneath this one. A skyscraper to right field, waiting on it for a long time is Solak as he stays back and makes the catch to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the third. It is 5-3 El Paso on the KSL Sports Zone.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I.
And then we brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together.
established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
As summer winds down, it's time to get back into a routine. Between school drop-offs, homework, sports, and everything else on your calendar, dinner shouldn't be another thing to worry about. Beehive Meals makes back to school easier with meals your family will actually look forward to. This month's menus include favorites like chicken Alfredo, chicken burrito bowls, meatball marinara, steak fajitas, and jalapeno cheddar smash burgers. Spend less time stressing over dinner and more time enjoying the moments that matter. Visit beehivemeals.com and make this school year your easiest one yet.
Bottom of the third inning. Salt Lake down by the score of 5-3. Salas, Castañon, Prado out there to face Leonard Garcia in his second inning of work as we're in this bottom of the third. And don't forget to join us coming up on Saturday night. It'll be the biggest night of the year. Make no mistake about it. It is Princess Night at the ballpark at America First Square. That's Saturday, August 22nd. Characters at the ballpark ready to go. They're going to take photos. They'll be there to sign autographs and make it a very magical night. So be there Saturday, August 22nd. Open stance, left side, Salas squares to bunt, first pitch. And it's in there for a strike, 0-1. Salas kicks at the dirt. Mad at himself for not laying that one down. Salas, a 2-run double back in the first inning. It was a 5-run first. That's why they lead 5-3, and the pitch is down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Princess Night is such a special night at the ballpark in America First Square. They have Princess Day here this afternoon in El Paso. An early arriving crowd. Here's the 1-1. It's on the outside corner for a strike, 1-2. That's one of those nights in daybreak, especially when we had it at Smith's Ballpark. You want to get there early for that. Right there when the gates open, go see the princesses, have so much fun before the game even starts. Just a night full of magic. 1-2, and Porter thought that was knee high. It was called a ball. Ben Phillips with the announcement as Porter challenges this. Porter's been excellent with his challenges this year, and he just barely missed. Well, Ben Phillips was right. And the Bees down a challenge. El Paso already out of challenges. It was a half an inch too low. And the count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That sinker at 93.4 from Leonard Garcia. Lefty on lefty. Here comes the pitch. Outside, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Princess Night with all the different characters, and there's just so much emotion and excitement and energy from all the kiddos, but especially the young ladies. 3-2, outside, ball 4. Leadoff walk, Ethan Salas. And it gives way for Marcos Castañon. 5-3 El Paso in the bottom of the third. Oh, but what I also love about that night, it is daddy-daughter date night, is what it is also called. So for those of you girl dads out there, you know how important daddy-daughter date night is. You don't miss it. Now in our family, as well as what goes on Saturday, you know, daddy-daughter date night with mom and the rest of the family is always welcomed on top of that. So it's not just for dads and daughters, but it's especially for dads and daughters on Saturday. It's that night where you feel like there are no rules. Ice cream before dinner, that's always fine as the pitch is outside, ball 1, and going to grab that ball for a second was Castañon as it popped out of the glove of Porter, and Castañon now drops the bat. Castañon was about to pick up the ball and hand it to Porter and then realized there's a runner on. You shouldn't do that. Big hole right side, 1-0. Castañon foul tips it into the glove, 1-1. But the beauty of that night is fun, so make sure to dress in your princess best. Be there Saturday, August 22nd. You know, beautiful themes all throughout the night, and a wonderful night of Bees baseball. 1-1 is outside, 2 balls and a strike. So Marcos Castañon, he had an RBI double in the first inning as he drove in Ethan Salas. Salas is over there at first. 1 for 3 stealing bases so far in the year. Slide stepping out to his lead at first, and the 2-1. Oh, swing and a miss on a pitch that nearly hit him. I don't know how it didn't hit him. It's 2-2. That was so far inside. By the time he was done swinging at that slider, that was right at his knee. The 2-2 from Garcia. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Great sequence there from Garcia. I mean, he had Castañon off balance. He had him flailing and missing. He had him guessing. So Garcia with a nice strikeout of Castañon. 1 out runner at first. 5-3 El Paso here today. Down on the field, they had Ariel. They had Jasmine. They also had Rapunzel. Elsa and Anna, they're somewhere around here. First pitch at the belt to strike 0-1. Nick Prado hit a 2-run homer back in the first inning. That put an exclamation point on a 5-run first. So he's now reached in 19 straight games going back to July 19. Here's the 0-1. Prado fouls it to the left side off the screen. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. But in every house, especially if you're a girl dad, you know that there is a favorite among the princesses. And those can change at any time. You have to stay on your toes. You have to stay up on your game. Right now and for a long time, Rapunzel has been number 1 in the Parks household. Throw over to first. Back with a head first slide is Ethan Salas. It's been that way for a long time. Well, the long hair and the songs, a big deal. That's another thing for a girl dad. You better know the songs, and you better get them right. Infield shifted hard to the right. Reyes, the third baseman, in the shortstop area. Salas with his lead at first. The 0-2 pitch. Grounded right back to Garcia. Stabs it. Throws back to second for 1. Sanchez on to first. They roll him up. Twin killings ended the second. Now it's ended the third. 1-6-3. And Garcia faces the minimum 3. We go to inning number 4. 5-3 El Paso on the KSL Sports Zone.
James was diagnosed at 3 months old with neuroblastoma. We went from thinking we had a healthy 3-month-old little boy. All of a sudden, he had this super serious cancer. It was heartbreaking. He had chemotherapy until he was just under a year old. And at that point, he was in remission.
Went that way for a year and then relapsed February of 2023. And here we are 1 year later, finishing up treatment, hopefully.
The research is extremely important. The treatments that they're developing here get shared with all the doctors to help treat children worldwide.
It's contributing something like one more piece of the puzzle to curing this horrible disease. We all want the same thing. We all want our children to live, have long, meaningful lives.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
America First Credit Union has everything you need to get your money working. And for a limited time, new members get a $150 cash bonus for opening a checking account and $200 more for enrolling in and using direct deposit. If you're ready to do more with your money and get up to $350 cash, head to americafirst.com and become a member today. Subject to membership, eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions. Additional requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Welcome back to El Paso. The score is 5-3 Chihuahuas. They lead over Salt Lake. It'll be Cade Marlowe, Logan Porter, Christian Moore. 8-9-1 hitters, 2 up for the Bees. New pitcher on for the El Paso Chihuahuas. It is J.P. Sears. And J.P. Sears has been a part of this series already. As for J.P. Sears, he comes on with his team up 5-3. The El Paso Chihuahuas trying to bounce back. Sears started game number 1 of this series, allowed 1 earned run, 3 innings, 1 hit, and struck out 5. He comes on for Andrew Thurman. Now back in game 1, it was Thurman who pitched the 3 innings after Sears' first 3 innings. So it looks like they're going to flip-flop that here. Cade Marlowe leads it off, looping liner, center field, leaping catch, in and out of the glove of Workman, the shortstop. It drops down, and a leadoff single for Cade Marlowe. He's 2 for 2 after he had that leadoff solo homer in the second. Boy, it looked for a moment like Workman was going to make another dazzling play at short. He had that ball in his glove, and as he was bringing it down, it slipped out. It brings up Logan Porter. He walked and was stranded back in the second inning. The Bees with 2 in the first, 1 in the second. They're down 5-3. Sears holds from the chest, rocks steady. And the lefty takes a look over there at Marlowe. Marlowe bluffs, and the pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. Cade Marlowe, one of the best in the PCL stealing bases. He has 28 on 31 attempts. It was always a nightmare for the Bees to hold down when he was playing for different opponents. 5th in the PCL stealing bases, creeps out to a healthy lead over there at first. And the pitch. Scalded out to right center field, ranging back to his right is Solak, still going back to the gap. It's going to one-hop the wall. Hustling into third is Marlowe. The windmill is on. Marlowe around third going home. Relay, no throw. Stepping in, standing up is Cade Marlowe. And it's an RBI double for Logan Porter. And he's cut the lead for El Paso down to 5-4. Well, Logan Porter's had some timely swings in a Bees uniform this year, but what you love is when this team is behind or you get into late innings or whatever the situation is, you know, him in that 9-hole, you just never feel like he's going to hurt you. And he had the walk earlier, and then all of a sudden found a good pitch to hit and deposited that into the right center field gap. Great hustle from Cade Marlowe. Got a great jump with a great read on that ball. Here is Christian Moore. Runner at second, nobody out, 5-4 El Paso. First pitch, laced to center on a rope, but right in line with Harris, the center fielder. Couple of steps to his left, he makes the catch. Strong throw coming in, and Porter holds at second. Well, tough break for Moore. That was his hardest hit ball of the day, and he annihilated it on a laser, but just to the right of where Harris was. And so you could see him just move over a few steps and make that catch. But the Bees have had it dialed in here so far on J.P. Sears. 3 hard hit balls against him. Here's Nelson Rada. Lined out to short and walked. Lefty on lefty matchup. Creeping in at third is Dungan. First pitch just below the knees, 1-0. And for Nelson Rada, you know, his speed can certainly cause problems, and even with Dungan standing there within the base path, that's where he's even with the bag at this moment. That's still too far back with 1 out and Rada in the box, especially without 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-0. And Rada taking just above the knees a strike, and it's 1-1. And it's the fun part about Nelson, especially with a lefty on the mound right now. Nelson also has the ability to turn and drag that thing up the first base side, where Sears would have to redirect and race back to the other side going towards the first base chalk line. It'd be a long way for him to get there. 1-1 is inside, 2 balls and a strike. And also the infield playing back and shifted to the right, that can play into his favor. And these are just things that Nelson is able to read on his own, just make a good decision and a calculated decision. And more times than not, he is right. Slightly open stance, left side. The lefty Sears kicks and deals. And Rada started after it, takes right down the heart of the plate for a strike. And it's 2-2. Pablo Reyes standing on deck. Reyes 1 for 2 today with a bunt single back in the first and scored. 5-4 El Paso. 1 out, runner at second base. No wind at all here this afternoon. The wind has played a part in just about every game of this series. Infielders with a forward lean. Checking the runner at second is Sears, and the pitch. It's on the outside corner, called strike 3. Nelson Rada down on strikes. After the RBI double from Logan Porter. That was with nobody out. He's still there now with 2 down, and here's Pablo Reyes. The infielders will now move over to the left. Reyes digs in on that back chalk line. Sways the bat in front of his face, reaches it back, ready. Waggles the bat back and forth. The pitch outside, ball 1. I mentioned it before. It's similar to a Gary Sheffield waggle. Gary's was the most exaggerated. He was one of the most exciting players to watch, but every kid out there at one point had mimicked, you know, that batting stance and that bat waggle. And anytime you did it, you know who you were mimicking. 1-0. Inside, 2-0. Every kid knew. It was one of the most obvious. Maybe you'd go with the Andre Scalaraga wide open stance. Maybe the Moises Salou stance with his toes pointed inward. The way he would hold the bat in front of his chest. I mean, it was so fun during those years following so many players. 2-0 pitch. And it's outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Sammy Sosa, where you pull your elbow way up, have it back. Those are fun times, but anytime I see Pablo Reyes, I think of Gary Sheffield. 3-0 the count, 2 down. Top of the fourth inning, 5-4 El Paso. J.P. Sears with a pitch. Green light, lasered, foul, look out, into the dugout. That nearly took somebody's head off. Whoa. And now a player comes out of the third base dugout with his arms out like, what was that all about? And the fans are laughing at it. Having a good time. That was terrific. Glad nobody got hurt. 3-1 the count. 2 down. What does J.P. Sears go with on 3-1? And a pitch that misfires up. And even if it hit the zone and they wanted to challenge, they cannot. Ball 4. 2-out walk to Pablo Reyes. And here comes Nico Cavadas. Meeting at the mound right now with J.P. Sears. Salas, the catcher, is going to go out there and join him, as that changeup was too high. Nico Cavadas, an RBI single in the first. He grounded out to second in the third. But now Nico has been lifted, and it is Ben Goebel who is going to come to the plate. Obviously, we're hoping that is good news for Nico Cavadas. You never know when a decision like that is made on what that might mean. We'll find out. We'll report if we hear anything. We likely would not until after the game. Ben Goebel at home hitting .319. In this series, 1 for 5 with a pair of Ks. So Ben Goebel stepping in the box for the first time of this game. Runners with their leads. Porter at second. It is Reyes at first. 5-4 El Paso, top of the fourth inning. Lefty on righty. Pitch, Sears to Goebel. And Goebel gets under it, flies it high in the air down the left field line, and that's going to go out of play. Ben Goebel, after signing with the Angels in 22, played a season and a half at the rookie ball level. Georgia native, had 59 games in 23 at Single A Inland Empire. Joined the Bees late last year over the course of 3 games. Goebel takes low and it's 1-1. Then joined the Bees again this season. They're in June in Reno. And a big opportunity for these guys who get AAA call-ups with a chance to show what they can do. Early July, he was the PCL Player of the Week. He flourished. And the Bees were off and running with Ben Goebel, and they were in need of some good offense at that time. Runners at first and second, the 1-1. Goebel grounds it foul between the third base bag and the coach's box. 1-2. (5-4) El Paso, top of the fourth, 2 down. As the runners return, Porter still there at second. Pablo Reyes is at first. J.P. Sears has had to work hard in this fourth inning. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the 18th pitch of the frame. He gets Ben Goebel to end the inning. But the Bees get a run. They do it on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We go now to the bottom of the fourth. It's El Paso 5, Salt Lake 4 on the KSL Sports Zone.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Roseman University of Health Sciences, the proud educational sponsor of the Salt Lake Bees, is a private nonprofit institution located in South Jordan, Utah, training the next generation of competent, compassionate healthcare providers in nursing, pharmacy, dentistry, and graduate studies, as well as providing high-quality, affordable dental care to underinsured and uninsured Utah families. Roseman University is transforming education, reimagining healthcare, racing discovery, and committed to community. Learn more at roseman.edu.
Cowboys ain't easy to love.
Bottom of the fourth inning, 5-4. It's El Paso with the lead over Salt Lake. Clay Dungan, Bryce Johnson, Dustin Harris, 8-9-1. Hitters due up against Leonard Garcia. He's out there for his third inning of work. He took over for Caden Dana after Dana allowed 5 runs in the first inning. Clay Dungan singled, stole second, and was stranded back in the first inning. And Dungan, left-hand batter against the lefty Garcia. First pitch inside, twisting to get out of the way. And it missed him for ball number 1. Clay Dungan, former leader in hits in the Pioneer League. And also the former Savannah Banana. Here comes the 1-0. On the outside corner for a strike. Grew up a big Cincinnati Reds fan. He was a big Ken Griffey Jr. guy. Great baseball history for him and his entire family. Here comes the 1-1. Dungan takes inside, 2 balls and a strike. As Clay helped Indiana State to their first NCAA tournament since 1995. Here's the 2-1. Squares the bunt, pulls back, and it's down. 3 balls and a strike. The Bees, after today, start a 6-game series with Reno next week. It'll be at the ballpark at America First Square. We hope to see you there. Garcia, the lefty, kicks and deals. And fouling it off of himself is Dungan. The count's full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Bees with just 12 home games left. That 6-gamer against Reno. Then the Bees take off for 12 games. They go at Tacoma, at Sacramento. Then they're back home. They're in that middle of September series. That is the final homestand of the year. Dungan, line drive center field, but not far for Rada to go. A bit to his left, and he makes the catch for out number 1. 5-4 El Paso. It brings up Bryce Johnson in this bottom of the fourth. Johnson struck out back in the first inning. Oh, I love that story of Bryce Johnson becoming a switch hitter. You know, randomly he's golfing with his dad. He's a college baseball player. You know, he's trying to find his footing even at the college level. And his dad goes, you know, I think you'd be a natural if you decided to be a switch hitter as the pitch is outside for a ball. So all of a sudden he starts switch hitting, kind of taught himself on his own, and he had help from some coaches, but had to work at it. But naturally evolved to that as the 1-0 was down, 2 balls and no strikes. He said it revolutionized his career and that he wouldn't have the success that he has without becoming a switch hitter. Had the 22 and 23 seasons with San Francisco. A pitch at the belt for a strike, 2-1. Joined the Padres in 24. This is his second stint in the Padres organization. Kid that grew up in the Lone Star State as the 2-1 fouled off right side and out of play. He was a standout wide receiver, first team All-District in Cypress, Texas. As Johnson taps the plate twice, bright white gloves with a bright white arm sleeve on that right arm. The lefty Garcia, a breath. The 2-2, line drive down the right field line, slicing, fouls. It clangs off the angled seats and bounces into right field. It is a calm crowd here this afternoon. Friday and Saturday night crowds have been raucous. But this one, a lot of kiddos out there playing around in the playground area. Beyond center field and just to the left. 2-2. Fly ball, right center. Rada ranging back and towards the alley. Now slows down in front of the track. Makes the catch shoulder high for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down. And Harris at the top of the order comes to the plate. Dustin Harris, who walked, stole second, and scored in the first, flight out to right field. Back in the second inning. Boy, El Paso was really starting to get some great contact on Salt Lake early. In the 5 spot in the first was evidence. But even in the second inning, They made great contact. Pitch is cut on and missed. 0-1, and then all of a sudden, with runners at the corners, Carlos Rodriguez took off for second. Solak popped it up and foul ground to first. Candelario made the catch and turned it into a double play as the 0-1 is outside. 1-1. That was a big break for the Bees as Garcia was in some trouble back in that second. You could feel it. All of a sudden, they're out of that. And the Bees have tacked on a couple. They've cut it to 5-4. This is cut on and missed. A sword swing by Harris. And the count's 1-2. But since then, a lot of soft contact. You've had another double play, I should say, since then. And Garcia has found a nice little groove here. A couple of flyouts to start this fourth inning. He's ahead in the count, 1-2 on Dustin Harris. Yeah, the pitch is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That last homestand for Dustin Harris, he hit .452. Comes into today batting .385 over his last 15 games, an on-base percentage of .429. Looping liner towards center, but drifting back is Sanchez, the shortstop. He makes the catch in shallow center field, and the inning is over. A quiet 1-2-3 fourth. Nice work, Leonard Garcia. We go to the fifth. He's down 5-4 on the KSL Sports Zone.
Wildlife around the globe needs help. And when you help protect them, you become a friend of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance. A real friend. The kind of friend you want to thank. And not just with a card or a text, but with a song.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
From your friends at the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, thank you for helping protect wildlife around the globe. Without you, there's no them. Learn more at sdzwa.org/friend.
Thank you for being a friend.
Sometimes firefighting sounds like this. But most of the time, it sounds like this. And this. And even this. The first response to wildfire is prevention, not intervention. So douse your flames, keep your vehicles maintained, and let's fight wildfire together. FireSense is the first response.
90.
I'm the king of rock, there ain't none higher. Sucker MCs should call me sire. To find my kingdom, you must choose.
Top of the fifth inning for the Salt Lake Bees. They're down 5-4. Jamer Candelario, Rowdy Rodriguez, Yomer Sanchez, 2 up. J.P. Sears out there for his second inning of work. For Salt Lake, 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth. El Paso with a 5 spot in the first. They've led ever since then. The Bees have made it a 1-run game. Jamer Candelario has reached twice today. Singled back in the first. He walked and was stranded at second back in the third. Candelario switch hitter now from the right side. Takes down for ball 1. Well, Jamer Candelario had 5 games to start off his major league career in 2016 with the Chicago Cubs. They would eventually go on to win the World Series that year. Candelario takes high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes as he subtly twisted after it, but held up. And Candelario, every time he's in the lineup, you look up, he's fighting a way to get on base. He's a great leadoff hitter when it comes to starting off a frame. As Candelario bounces it down the third base line. Nice backhand stop, Dungan. Deep, tight to the line. Lasers a throw to first, and they got him. What a stretch by Prado at first base. A fabulous play by both corners. Candelario with a chalk bouncer down the third base line. Dungan makes a great backhand stop and started in foul territory, stepped forward and just threw a dart over to first. Prado stretching out with everything he had, and they barely get Candelario. Put a star over the 5 in your scorebook on that one. 1 out, nobody on. Here's Rowdy Rodriguez. Check swing. Pitch was up. Did he go? He did not. It's 1-0. 5-4 El Paso in the top of the fifth. Sears not happy about the strike call and not getting the check swing call. That cutter was a bit up, though. They've disagreed with the top part of the zone of Ben Phillips quite a bit today, but Ben has been accurate according to the pitch tracker. 1-1 fouled back, or the 1-0 was fouled back. Now it's 1-1. Rowdy Rodriguez flied out to right, grounded out to third. Johnson in left, Harrison center, Solak is in right. Dungan at third, Workman at short, Castagnone at second, Prado at first. Salas behind the dish, Sears on the mound. Here comes the 1-1. Grounded hard, foul off the facing of the first base dugout. And it counts 1-2. Now the Bees were coming after J.P. Sears a lot back in that fourth inning. Well, they had 2 hard hit balls to start the inning. They brought in a run. Christian Moore had a hard hit line drive, but right at the center fielder Harris. And then Sears walked Reyes, but Sears was fortunate to get out of that inning, only giving up 1. As the Bees were knocking on the door, tying it. 1-2 is high. A little bit inside. Leaning back was Rowdy Rodriguez. As Rodriguez last year started really turning heads. 5 times named Cal League Player of the Week. Twice Cal League Player of the Month. He was a postseason All-Star in the California League. Here's the 2-2. Rodriguez swings and misses strike 3. He is 0 for 3 on the day. And the Bees trail 5-4. 2 out, nobody on. And it brings up Yolmer Sanchez. Yolmer Sanchez struck out in the first, flied out to right field in the third inning. Sanchez now batting from the right-hand side. He's the 9th hitter that J.P. Sears has faced so far on the afternoon. And after the first 2 were able to get knocks against Sears, he has not allowed a hit since. Swing and a miss, 0-1. As J.P. has now retired 5 of the last 6 that he's faced. Yolmer Sanchez, who has 3 first names: Javier, Carlos, and Yolmer. Sanchez dribbles it on one bounce back to the pitcher steers. He'll underhand to first in plenty of time. A snappy 1-2-3 5th inning. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Bees still down. It's 5-4 on the KSL Sports Zone.
Chronic absenteeism is on the rise.
Sophia A. absent. Julio M. absent.
These absences are often due to the absence of crucial needs like food, transportation, and health care.
Olivia H. absent. Preston L. absent.
But site coordinators from communities and schools connect kids to the resources they need so they show up prepared and ready to learn.
Jacob O. present.
Visit communitiesandschools.org. Being present matters.
It's our summer liquidation event.
So we're making room for the incoming 27s, and we're blowing out all the 26s. Save huge on the Open Range RV Colt 17 BH for only $12,995 or $141 a month, 0 down. Or the Heartland Prowler 2500 BH for $16,995 or $184 a month, 0 down. Or the Heartland Cyclone 2214 for $54,995 or $414 a month, 0 down. All 3 models include an additional $699 dock fee.
We must make room for new inventory.
Paris RV is your locally owned, family-run RV dealership. We strive hard to find the very best RVs for the price. With 4 locations, over 1,000 RVs in stock, 42 service bays, and 4 super parts stores. We're sure to help take your family on the best RV vacation. Check out our perfect family bunkhouse trailer, the 26BH. That sleeps 9 for $19,995 or $227 a month, 0 down. Life is short. Enjoy it. North Murray, South Murray, Payson, and Pocatello. ParisRV.com.
Bottom of the 5th inning. Bees trailing 5-4 against the El Paso Chihuahuas tonight. It is Mitch Harris who's on now for this bottom of the 5th. They'll face Workman, Rodriguez, and Solak, the 2-3-4. Day is done for Leonard Garcia. 3 really nice innings out of the pen. Allowed just 1 hit. Walked 1, hit a batter, struck out 1. Was able to keep El Paso off the board. As the Bees went up 2-zip, they went down 5-2. Now it's 5-4. Gage Workman has reached twice, walked, and he was hit by a pitch by Garcia. Lefty on lefty, first pitch swinging, golfs it high and into the air to the left of center. Rada, the center fielder, drifting to his right, makes the trotting catch. 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th. And it brings up Carlos Rodriguez. He's 1 for 2. We reset the defensive alignment for the Bees. Marlowe in left, Rada in center, Rodriguez in right, Reyes at third, Sanchez at short, Moore is at second with Candelario at first, Porter behind the dish, Mitch Ferris on the mound. Went for Mitch Ferris. He pitched back in game 3 of this series. The pitch is inside, ball 1 to Rodriguez. Rodriguez singled in the second, was doubled off. But Ferris 1 2/3, gave up a hit, a run, it was earned. Looping liner out towards shallow left center, drifting back to shortstop Sanchez. He is there, and he makes the catch for out number 2. It was Rodriguez who actually hit a home run against Ferris when they battled against one another. And it was Ferris who was tagged for 1 of the 2 runs on that. Nick Solak, 0 for 2. Popped up into a double play back in the second inning. That was a big moment in this game as it looked like El Paso was really ready to pile on. First pitch at the knees, a strike. And it's 0-1. Solak, 3 for 17 in this series, 0 for his last 6. Right-hand batter set and ready. And the pitch flailed and a miss, down and away. 0-2. Two out, nobody on. 5-4 El Paso. Bottom of the 5th inning. Ferris comes set from the stretch. Holds at the chest, knee up, foot down, fires. It's away. Mitch Ferris, who was the home opening day starter for Salt Lake back on March 31st, as the Bees secured their first win of the season on that day. 1-2. Fouled back. We'll do it again at a ball and 2 strikes. He wasn't in Salt Lake for long. Mitch Ferris spent a lot of the season with the Los Angeles Angels, and for good reason. He was looking good early and often. Came back to the Bees for just a moment as that pitch is down and in, and it hit him. And so Solak, who was having a tough time dialing in on Mitch Ferris, was off balance and flailing away at pitches. All of a sudden, he's aboard now with a hit by pitch. 2 out, 1 on. And here's Ethan Salas. He's reached twice today. A 2-run double in the first. He walked in the 3rd inning. No, but in the short time that he had with the Bees, just 3 starts with them, and then this huge chunk of time with the Angels from late April all the way to August 6th. Throw over to first, back with a head first slide is Nick Solak. And in that chunk part of the season, he was 1-3 with an ERA of 4.40. Opponents hit .270 against him at the major league level. Let's fly deep down the left field line, slicing towards the corner, over by the Peter Piper Pizza Porch, and it is fair and gone. Ethan Salas with a 2-run home run here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It is now 7-4 El Paso. Salas just put it inside the foul pole over the Peter Piper Pizza Porch. It hangs high about 25 feet above the ground, and he got it out. And it didn't get out by a lot. He wasn't quite sure after he hit it. And that ball just barely slid inside the foul pole. So Ethan Salas now with his 3rd home run as a member of the Chihuahuas. It's now a 3-run lead after Mitch Ferris was on the brink of a 1-2-3 inning. Pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Castañon. That's a really tough way to have this inning go if you're Mitch Ferris. Got the first 2 out on soft contact. You're about to put Solak away. The pitch is down and away, 2-0. And all of a sudden you hit him in the foot. And then Salas slices one just over the wall and just inside the foul pole. Castañon, an RBI double and struck out. Line drive, right field, base hit. An opposite field knock for Marcos Castañon. His 2nd of the day. And the inning continues here in the 5th. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Bees. 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors for El Paso. Brings up Nick Prado. He had a 2-run homer back in the 1st inning as he launched it over that gated area out in right field. First pitch. It's down and away, 1-0. Lefty on lefty matchup. Over there at first base, Castagnon, 4 for 5, stealing bases on the year. Prado grounded into a 1-6-3 double play to end the third. Throw over to first and back in there is Castagnon. Although he almost lost his balance there for a moment. Nick Prado, who played with the Royals between 22 and 24, swings and misses 1-1. Had 26 games with the Round Rock Express in the Rangers system. And was released June 9th and picked up by the Padres June 10th. Prado with a double and a home run in this series. 5 runs batted in during the week. Here's the 1-1 outside. And it's 2 balls and a strike. Now the pitching today for the Bees started rough. Caden Dana allowed 5 earned runs back in the first inning. He lasted just 1 inning. And after that, Leonard Garcia did a nice job in the 2-3-4, keeping them scoreless as that pitch is cut on a miss. Counts 2-2 with 2 down. Bottom of the 5th inning. 7 for El Paso, 4 for the Bees. A 2-run homer in this 5th by Ethan Salas, as it's put El Paso back up by 3, matching their biggest lead of the day. Holding at the bag, Candelario. The infield shifted right. The third baseman Reyes standing in the shortstop area. 2-2 outside, and the count runs full. It'll be a head start at first for Castagnon. Well, and going back to Salas, what a great start to his time in an El Paso uniform. 3-2 pitch inside, ball 4, and suddenly 4 in a row have reached after Ferris retired the first 2 and looked like he might be finding a groove. And then all of a sudden, the wheels have wobbled for him here. He's given up 2 already in this inning, and here comes Clay Dungan. But back to Salas, he's reached 3 times tonight, and during this series, Salas is 8 for 16, 3 walks, and he also has 8 runs batted in. He entered this year as San Diego's #1 prospect, and he's been able to climb the ladder and get to AAA. He has just hit the ground running. He's looked great, and what a great weapon for this team as they had dropped 9 in a row and then all of a sudden won 5 out of 6. Some of that surge offensively coming from Ethan Salas. First and second, 2 down. Clay Dungan, left-hand batter, flies it high in the air, down by the left field line, ranging over Marlowe, over to the side warning track, makes the catch in foul ground, and the inning is over. But some damage was done. Salas with a 2-run homer. It's 7-4 El Paso. We go to the 6th on the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey Max, you look sharp in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world as a guide dog?
You bet, Daisy. And your purple service dog vest really pops against your shiny fur.
First day on the job for both of us. We've got this, right?
You bet. Dogs Inc. trained us well.
Ready to make a difference for our humans?
Born ready.
Discover how extraordinary guide and service dogs change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Okay, I've got to tell you about something that honestly surprised me. I went down to Peach Doors and Windows to check out their showroom, and these are not your big box store doors. We're talking solid core, reinforced, high security doors that look like they belong on $1 million home. And here's what hit me. Most break-ins don't happen through windows. They happen through the front door. And a lot of doors, they're basically decorative cardboard with a handle. Peach installs doors that are built to take a beating. Heavy-duty hardware, reinforced frames, real security, but they still look absolutely stunning. Whether you're building $1 million home or you just want yours to look like one, your front door is the first impression and the first line of defense. Do yourself a favor. Go see their showroom. Feel the difference. Visit peachdoorsandwindows.com or stop by their showroom today. Upgrade the door. Upgrade the home. Simple as that.
97.5 KZNS-FM Colville, 1280 KZNS-AM Salt Lake City, and KSL-FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Top of the 6th inning, Bees down by the score of 7-4. Cade Marlowe, Logan Porter, Christian Moore, 8-9-1 hitters due up for the Bees. J.P. Sears out there for a 3rd inning of relief work. He took over for Andrew Thurman, who gave up 3 runs to the Bees. The Bees scored 1 on Sears in the 4th. They're down by 3. Kate Marlowe's had a great day after a slow start to the series. First pitch outside corner, a strike. He taps his helmet. The Bees have 1 challenge left. Marlowe believes they'll keep it because he thinks this pitch was outside. Everyone stares up at the video board. It reveals it was outside. Good call, Marlowe. Marlowe, a solo homer in the 2nd, and he singled in the 4th. He's 3 for his last 3 after starting the series 0 for 12. It is 4th leadoff homer of the year. That was back in the 2nd inning. And the 1-0 is low. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Well, how about the Orioles today? A 7-run 6th inning. Colton Cowser, a 2-run homer. Christian Encarnacion Strand, a 3-run double. And the Tampa Bay Rays fall to the Orioles 10-2. They've lost 3 in a row after they had won 9 in a row. Here comes the 2-0 to Marlowe. Fouls it back. And it's 2 balls and a strike. They're going to conclude that series tomorrow. Last call for the Diamondbacks. They're down 5-2 in Atlanta. Top of the 9th. The lefty Sears exhales, steps, kicks, and fires. Fouled off of the catcher, rather the home plate umpire, Ben Phillips. He's going to walk around and take a second. And the catcher, Salas, is going to walk out in front of home plate, give him an extra moment. Oh, you can see it. Ben Phillips wore that one. He's kind of grimacing a little bit. Salas, the catcher, talking with him, making sure he has enough time to reset. Infield shifted hard to the right. Marlowe in the box, lefty on lefty. Here comes the pitch from J.P. Sears. Marlowe, hard hit ground ball, but right to the second baseman Castagnone by the back rim of the infield. Sidearm throw to first in time, 1 out in this top of the 6th. 7-4 El Paso, 1 out, nobody on. And here is Logan Porter. He's reached twice today, walked in the 2nd, and an RBI double in the 4th inning. Porter cut this to a 1-run game, but then the Salas 2-run homer changed everything here, as it's now 7-4 El Paso. The lefty Sears winds and fires, and it's outside, ball 1. Cardinals out to a 3-0 lead at Wrigley Field today. Is that game in the bottom of the 3rd? Oh, what an amazing performance that was yesterday, and so much to be excited about with, the debut as the 1-0 is outside. The count's 2 balls and no strikes. But to watch, history be made like it was yesterday. The St. Louis Cardinals against the Chicago Cubs. And one of those moments where you couldn't believe what you were watching. Here's the 2-0, and that's outside, 3 balls and no strikes. As Joshua Baez has his major league debut, and he homers in his first 3 plate appearances. That is major league history. And he was a big reason why they won the game 8-4, 3-0. That's piped down the middle for a strike, 3-1. I think my favorite part about watching that was seeing the way his family was reacting after each home run. I mean, they looked like a student section at a college basketball game. They were going ballistic, and they should be. Here's the 3-1. Porter takes outside, ball 4. He's reached now 3 times today. 2 walks and a knock for Porter. He's aboard. 1 out, 1 on. 7-4 El Paso. Back to the top of the order. Here's Christian Moore. Christian Moore is 1 for 3. Singled in the 1st and scored. Struck out the 2nd. A tough break for him in the 4th. He had a hard hit ball against Sears. And he just lasered it right to Harris in center field. The infield shifted left. Porter creeping out to his lead at first. Not a big lead. Not a big threat to take off. Sears, knee up, foot down, fires. Check swing. It's on the outside corner for a strike. And it's 0-1. Red Sox and Pirates, they're in a rain delay at PNC Park, with the Bucks leading 7-3 over Boston, top of the 7th. Here's the 0-1. Moore started after it, left it high, and it's a ball and a strike. 1 out, top 6, 7-4 El Paso. Yankees headed to the 9th inning at Toronto, up 2-1. Here's the lefty Sears to the righty Moore. And Moore takes inside, tucks his hands in. And it's 2 balls and a strike. Well, those AL Central games are always fun, especially with that battle going on. And the White Sox have been great with close game victories. And they're up 6-5 in Detroit right now in the bottom of the 7th. The 2-1. At the knees, inside corner, a strike. It's 2-2. 93 on the gun from J.P. Sears. Getting loose right now in the bullpen, France. He's been a part of this series earlier, especially, when we had France going up against Paris of the Bees. It was a dream matchup. Check swing, pitches high, they appeal. He did not go. And the count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So JP France and Kyron Paris, they battled against each other in Sugar Land, and then they matched up against each other this week. 1 out, 1 on. 2-2 the count. It is 7-4 El Paso with a casual Sunday afternoon feel here in far west Texas. Moore fouls it straight back. We'll do it again, 3-2. The wind has picked up a little bit now, blowing out towards left. Top of the 8th, Marlins 2, Reds nothing. And the Marlins with the bases loaded 2 down in that 8th inning. They're looking to tack on. Count full, 1 down, the pitch. It's low to Christian Moore. It's ball 4. It squirts away from the catcher Salas. He'll go get it by the on-deck circle. So Moore at first. It is Porter at second. Salt Lake quietly threatening here in the 6th. They're down 7-4, and it brings up Nelson Rada. Lefty on lefty matchup coming up with Pablo Reyes standing on deck. Infield pull to the right now. Big hole left side. In at third is Dungan as he punches into his glove with a forward lean on that front edge of the grass. Here's the first pitch from J.P. Sears. Rada clips it foul off the first base dugout. And it's no balls and a strike. Padres and Guardians still yet to get started. They're in a rain delay. Last call for the Nationals. They trail at the Mets 4-3. Yesterday it was the Mets who rallied back from a 4-3 deficit in the night to win 5-4. Now the Nationals trying to return the favor. Here's the 0-1. Rada, broken bat, looping liner, left field, long run. Workman, the shortstop dives. He can't get it. Trotting into third and stopping there is going to be Porter. Bases loaded, 1 out, top of the 6th. Well, you take the breaks when you can get them, and that includes a broken bat. Nelson Rada is with his dying quail out to left field. Workman had so far to go to get it with him playing in the shift. And he had the chase and lunged out to try and make the catch. Because it was kind of in a dangerous area, Porter couldn't break for third. So he holds up at third right now. France still getting loose on that bullpen mound down the left field line. Here's Pablo Reyes. Reyes with the bases loaded, 1 out. Batting 3 for 8 when the bases are full, including a double. First pitch, Reyes takes low, ball 1. The Bees had a great 9th inning rally when they loaded the bases last night. Now they have them juiced here in the 6th. Porter at third, Moore at second, Rada at first. Reyes today, he's 1 for 2 with a walk. Here comes the 1-0. Reyes takes on the outside corner for a strike. Pablo Reyes, a .322 hitter with runners in scoring position. El Paso 7, Salt Lake 4. Top of the 6th inning. Now the Bees with a good threat here. Reyes holds with the bat at his chest. Stepping off for the first disengagement was J.P. Sears. Now he'll step back in. Sears, who gave up 1 in the 4th. Now the wheels wobbling here in the 6th. Runners with their leads. Here's the 1-1. Reyes puts it in the air to left field. Drifting back on it is Johnson. Still going back, and he can't get to it. It one-hops the wall. In to score from third is Porter. Right behind him is Moore. Rada right behind him. It's a 3-run double for Pablo Reyes, and the former El Paso Chihuahua has tied the game 7-7. And what a great read by the base runners, Moore and Rada. And while Porter is tagging no matter what, they get off the bases and they are right behind one another. You can see all three of them, just like an assembly line, coming in one after the other to come and tie this game up. Johnson was breaking back on it, lunged and just couldn't get to it. And after it hit off the wall, it bounced back over him the other way. All three come in to stand up. Pablo Reyes with his 26th double of the season, 48 runs batted in. This game is tied. JP France is coming on. We'll tell you more about him when we come back after this pitching change. 7-7 the score. Top 6 on the KSL Sports Zone.
Most families get their financial advice in pieces. A financial advisor here, a CPA there, an estate attorney somewhere else. Everyone means well, but nobody's talking to each other, and those gaps can work against you. Trajan Wealth's family office brings wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning together. Not as separate conversations, but as one coordinated system built around your life, your goals, and the people who matter most. Ours is a true family office, not one that refers you out because it's convenient. This kind of dedicated collaboration used to require a 7-figure net worth, but here's the game changer. Trajan kicked that door open. Trajan advisors are fiduciaries, always obligated, always honored to act in your best interest. Unlock your Trajan family office at TrajanWealth.com or call 1-855-TRAJAN-1. That's 1-855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax.
Roseman University of Health Sciences, the proud educational sponsor of the Salt Lake Bees, is a private nonprofit institution located in South Jordan, Utah, training the next generation of competent, compassionate healthcare providers in nursing, pharmacy, dentistry, and graduate studies, as well as providing high-quality, affordable dental care to underinsured and uninsured Utah families. Roseman University is transforming education, reimagining healthcare, racing discovery, and committed to community. Learn more at roseman.edu.
Bottom of the 6th inning. We're all tied at 7 now. In the top of the 6th, rather. JP France takes over for JP Sears. Sears still responsible for the runner at second. Ben Goebel is now right-hand batter at the plate against JP France. Here's the first pitch. Goebel fouls it back, 0-1. Pablo Reyes at second base tied this game with a 3-run double earlier in this inning. What a great rally from the Bees. They rallied back to win last night. They rallied back to win game 1. They've rallied back today to tie this thing up. They've trailed by 3 at 2 different times of the day. And the offense continues to put pressure on El Paso. This ball squirts away from the catcher, Salas. Going second to third is Pablo Reyes. Great read there by Pablo Reyes. It'll go as a pass ball. And so the go-ahead run is now at third with 1 out. Ben Goebel took over for Nico Cavadas. Cavadas an RBI single in the first, grounded out to second in the third. For Goebel, he struck out in the fourth. Infield in, the 1-1. Inside, 2 balls and a strike. Well, there's no doubt about it that command issues really hurt the bullpen last night of El Paso, and it hurt them again today, as earlier in the 6th inning, 2 walks really set things up for Salt Lake to put together a big inning. Here's the 2-1. Hard hit, ground ball through the middle into center field, a base hit. Trotting home from third, Pablo Reyes, RBI single, Ben Goebel, and the Bees jump back in front. It's 8-7. The Bees scored the first 2 runs of this game. They've trailed ever since. Now they're in the driver's seat again as Ben Goebel, who came on for Nico Cavadas, assuming the responsibility of that cleanup spot and doing it well. 1 out, 1 on, 8-7 Salt Lake. Salt Lake scored exactly 8 runs back on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They have 8 here on Sunday. And they're not done. Here's Candelario batting from the left-hand side, and first pitch outside, ball 1. Continuing our out-of-town scoreboard today. Twins holding a 5-4 lead at home against the Phillies. That's in the top of the 7th. They're underway in San Francisco between the Rockies and the Giants. Top 1, no score, 1-0. That's at the knees for a strike. Rangers and Ace just underway in West Sacramento. Same story for the Halos at the Big A against Kansas City. A couple of minutes from getting started, the Brewers at the Dodgers, and the Sunday nighter, the Mariners at the Astros. 1-1. Outside, and it goes all the way to the backstop. Wild pitch, and Goebel goes first to second. Command issues have really hurt this team a few different ways. Obviously, the base on balls, but the pass ball that put Reyes there at third, that is why the infield was drawn in, and that's one of the reasons why the ground ball for Goebel got through. Because if Reyes was at second, they'd be playing back, and that hit by Goebel would go right to the shortstop Workman. Here's the 2-1, and it's high, 3 balls and a strike. I'll tell you, one guy who's going to do this pitching staff no favors at the plate is Jeimer Candelario. Just great zone discipline. He was able to draw a walk back in the third. He's 1 for 2 today. He's reached twice. 3-1 hammered. High and deep to right. Headed for the roof tops and long gone. Off the big doghouse sign. Jeimer Candelario annihilates one over the right field wall. And Salt Lake leads 10-7 here in the top of the 6th. Oh, what a shot by Jeimer Candelario. And a little 6-pack Sunday in this 6th inning. Well, you could hear it with the groan of that crowd. They knew it was not just gone, it was long gone. They have a high rooftop seating. They call them the woof tops. The big doghouse. That was so far gone, it hit the top of it with the sign that says Big Dog House. First pitch, outside corner, a strike to Rowdy Rodriguez. Boy, and Jeimer Candelario just picked a spot and ripped. And all those fans who were sitting up there in a premium seating area, swinging a miss 0-2, well, they're waiting for this souvenir. It was over their heads. He almost hit it over that entire thing. And that is not a double-decker premium seating area. It is a triple-decker premium seating area. I mean, that blast was no joke. Pitch is inside, and it's 1-2. Whoa. Now, the distance is 366, but that's because they're not calculating how far it would have gone. Here's the 1-2. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Because it obviously stopped right there and bounced back onto the field. Well, you can still hear the crowd rumbling after that one, but the moment the ball hit the bat, just that sound of the home crowd, like, oh, what a sound. 2-2 is outside. The last time I think I heard a sound like that, to that level, where it was that loud off the bat and the crowd reacted like that, was when Kyron Paris hit a 499-foot home run in Reno on a Sunday afternoon last year. Rodriguez, check swing, outside, ball 4. He earns the 1-out walk. 10-7 Salt Lake, top of the 6th inning. All 9 will come to the plate as Yolmer Sanchez steps in. If you're the Bees, you know how today is going. This is a high-scoring game. You still have 12 outs to get. No lead is going to be safe. No run total is going to be safe. And this might be the game where the first team to 10 wins, but you don't know that. This is a classic PCL game that's high scoring. Here's the first pitch. Yolmer swings and misses 0-1. Boy, he took a vicious cut. Switch hitter batting from the left-hand side. Rodriguez over there at first. It was his 4th walk of the series. First time he's reached on the day. Infield pulled right. Sanchez, hard hit grounder right to the second baseman. Castagnone picks and flips to second for 1. And on to first. The throw from Workman. The inning is done. 4-6-3, a double play, but 6 runs in the inning. It included a 3-run double by Pablo Reyes and a towering 2-run shot by Jeimer Candelario. Bees up 10-7. We go to the bottom of the 6th on the KSL Sports Zone.
There's an old saying, the only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing, but when it comes to COPD, knowing the signs can mean the difference between life and death. COPD is a chronic lung disease that may be caused by genetics, frequent lung infections, or irritants like smoke, fumes, dust, or chemicals. The most common cause of COPD is cigarette smoke, but anyone can get COPD. Despite being the 3rd leading cause of death worldwide, Millions of people have COPD symptoms, but still go undiagnosed. Wisdom might come with aging, but symptoms like shortness of breath, tightness in your chest, coughing, and wheezing shouldn't. If you find yourself struggling to keep up with other people your age, or if you get short of breath walking up the stairs, it's time to talk to your doctor. COPD does not yet have a cure, but it is treatable. Early diagnosis and proper care can add years of better breathing to your life. For more information, visit copdfoundation.org.
America First Credit Union has everything you need to get your money working. And for a limited time, new members get a $150 cash bonus for opening a checking account and $200 more for enrolling in and using direct deposit. If you're ready to do more with your money and get up to $350 cash, head to americafirst.com and become a member today. Subject to membership, eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions. Additional requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Welcome back to El Paso. A beautiful Sunday afternoon here in far west Texas. It's 10-7 Salt Lake after a 6-run sixth inning for the Salt Lake Bees. Bottom of the sixth, Bryce Johnson is going to lead off the inning. Mitch Ferris out there for another inning of work. He gave up 2 in the sixth. First pitch in there for a strike. Bryce Johnson 0 for 2 so far on the day. Well, I'm still marveling at that massive 2-run home run by Jamer Candelario. He annihilated that ball. This is scorched over to the third baseman, Reyes. He makes the catch for out number 1. Hard hit ball. Reyes just had to lunge one step to his right, backhand it. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the sixth, 10-7 Salt Lake. Here's Dustin Harris. Dustin Harris still hitless on the day. Reached with a walk back in the first and scored. He's also stolen a base. He's had a very active series. Batting in the leadoff spot, left-hand batter. Takes the first pitch strike, and it's 0-1. Way in the PCL today, just 2 day games. This one, and also they're in the 6th inning in Round Rock where the Express lead Sugar Land 7-5. 0-1. Outside, a ball and a strike. Reno at Tacoma, that's coming up in about 20 minutes. In the Sooner State, one of the night games, Albuquerque at Oklahoma City. The late game tonight, as the 1-1 is grounded softly foul through the first base coach's box, so the count is 1-2. Las Vegas hosting Sacramento. It's a fun race during the second half most years for that final playoff spot. 2 years ago, it was Reno who took that spot. Last year, it was Tacoma who raced from behind to make it happen. Right now, Sugar Land with a 5.5 game lead over everybody. So they're ahead of Oklahoma City 5.5. That's a bouncer towards the second baseman. Moore ranges to his left. Sharp angle throw to first. In plenty of time. 2 up, 2 down. Well, this is how the 5th inning started for Mitch Ferris. Now he's hoping the same thing doesn't happen because back in the 5th, the next 4 would get on. 2 would score on an Ethan Salas 2-run homer. He's up 10-7. Bottom of the 6th, Gage Workman. He's hitless on the day, but he's been hit by a pitch, lefty on lefty. First pitch outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Sacramento 6 back, Round Rock 7 back. And Sugar Land is about to run away early with that second half title. Pitches outside, and that's a ball. That's what makes today's game so important for, a team that's battling like Round Rock right now. They're just hanging by a thread. As the pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. As after today, the Bees will have 2 homestands, and they will have 3 road series. 30 total games left in the season after today's game. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A snappy 1-2-3, bottom of the 6th for Mitch Ferris. Bees up 10-7. We go to inning number 7 on the KSL Sports Zone.
Roseman University of Health Sciences, the proud educational sponsor of the Salt Lake Bees, is a private nonprofit institution located in South Jordan, Utah, training the next generation of competent, compassionate healthcare providers in nursing, pharmacy, dentistry, and graduate studies, as well as providing high-quality, affordable dental care to underinsured and uninsured Utah families. Roseman University is transforming education, reimagining healthcare, racing discovery, and committed to community. Learn more at roseman.edu.
Wow, this is the time of year when the temperatures are off the chart, and it's not the time for us to go into our backyards where it is so warm, fire up the hot grill, and then slap on a steak, and then stand there and try to make it taste as good as Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. First of all, it's impossible. So why not just go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse for the best meal you have had all summer long? The steaks cooked to perfection, other wonderful entrees as well, from seafood to poultry, you name it, the side dishes, the desserts. You don't have to do the cleanup. You don't have to stand there over the hot grill. You just sit back in that air-conditioned comfort with the people you love, and you have a dining experience that you're going to remember. Hotel Park City up in Summit County, there's a Ruth's Chris there, and downtown Salt Lake City, 275 Southwest Temple.
Top of the seventh inning, Salt Lake on top 10-7. Cade Marlowe's had a nice day, 2 for 3, and he has led off 3 different innings, now make it 4 different innings. Had a leadoff homer in the second, singled and scored in the fourth, grounded out to second base in the sixth. However, that sixth inning turned into a 6-run frame, and the Bees lead 10-7. J.P. France out there for another inning of work, bunting it up the third base line. In comes Dungan, tries to barehand it, can't get it. Infield bunt single, Cade Marlowe. Boy, the speed and the overall expertise of Cade Marlowe is so impressive. He started this series 0 for 12. He is now 4 of his last 5. Unbelievable. Here's Logan Porter. He's reached 3 times today. Walked, an RBI double, then walked again and scored. Well, the 8 and 9 hitters have been oh so productive. Marlowe the lead at first, always a threat to take off. Right arm dangling down. And he'll walk back over to first base. Marlowe, 28 stolen bases on the year. Creeps out to that lead again. The pitch. Dribbled out in front of home plate. Up to get it is the catcher, but it's the pitcher barehanding it. France throws wide to first, and it goes over by the sidewall. Going second to third now is going to be Marlowe. Runners at the corners. E1. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Well, you can see it right there. It's on that in-betweener where France is coming downhill, Salas is coming up. And France just kind of steps in front of Salas, who was trying to lean down and grab this. Instead, France barehands and throws wide. Just a perfect little swinging bunt, but the play still should have been made. Runners at the corners. Christian Moore in the box. The Bees threatening to pile on. They're up 10-7. Moore takes a called strike, 0-1. 2 in the first for Salt Lake, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth, 6 in the sixth. For El Paso, 5 in the first, 2 in the fifth. Christian Moore's reached twice. He's 1 for 3. Corners in. Nobody out. Moore takes a vicious cut, comes up empty, 0-2. Salt Lake, 4 games in a row now in this series. They've scored 8 or more. This is their best offensive game of the series. We're still in the 7th inning. Salt Lake's been one of the best late in games. And one of the better late game hitters has been Christian Moore. As Moore takes high. And it counts a ball and 2 strikes. It's been a staple of Christian, in a really big way in 2026 is that late game production. A .388 hitter in the later innings. 7 of his 10 home runs have been in the late innings. Here comes the 1-2. Moore fouls it back. And we'll do it again, a ball and 2 strikes. The lead at third, Cade Marlowe, who led off this inning with an infield bunt single. Logan Porter had a swinging bunt and reached. What a throwing error from the pitcher, J.P. France. All cutters here so far against Moore. Moore takes down and away, and it's 1-2. Now back to the speed element of this team. Christian Moore, great speed. Also the guy at third, Cade Marlowe, great speed. You look up and down this order with Rada, I mean, go Rowdy Rodriguez. I think Sanchez is underrated with his speed as well. Those guys are all capable of just dropping down a bunt or hitting it into a spot you're not ready. Here's the 2-2. Moore pops it up right side foul ground, giving chase to first baseman Prado and the catcher Salas. It will drop into the 8th row. And we'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 10-7 Salt Lake, top of the 7th. At 2 different times today, the Bees trailed by 3 runs. They were down 5-2. They were down 7-4. But that 6-pack in the 6th has changed this game. The one thing Alonzo Powell wants this offense to do is pile on. Moore trying to do that. He takes high, and it's 3-2. He talks about it a lot. He says, you get a situation where you have a chance to really rack it up on a team in this league, you have to do it. You never know what's going to happen in the late innings. Obviously, the Bees were the benefit of a come-from-behind win last night. 3-2. Down and away, ball 4. Nice peeps, Christian Moore. That is walk number 71 on the season for Christian Moore. He's now just 4 back for the record in a single season in franchise history. Nico Cavadas at 75 tied it last year with Reggie Willits. Now the base is loaded, nobody out. Bees lead 10-7. Here's Nelson Rada taking into the left-hand batter's box. Rada 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Rada, first pitch down in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Salas. He loses the mask, scurries to his right to get it. And walking back to third is Cade Marlowe. Nelson Rada with the bases loaded, 2 for 10. He had 2 doubles last night, his 2nd career game with multiple doubles. The Bees loaded him up in the 6th. Pablo Reyes had the 3-run double. That tied things up. Rada ready, 1-0. Big swing and a miss, 1-1. Right now the corners are in. And you also have the middle infielders pinched. El Paso would love to get 2 out of this in some way, especially if they kept them off the board. But Rada knows he does not need a hit to bring in a run. It's an important situation here in the 7th. 1-1, started after it, left it high. 2 balls and a strike. Well, in anything that's borderline right now, El Paso may be traded, but they lost both challenges very early. We were in the early moments of the 2nd inning when they're out of challenges. And that heater was upstairs. 10-7 the score, 2-1 the count. Bases loaded, nobody out. The pitch, taking a strike. Top of the zone, inside part of the plate, it's 2-2. Well, he started him curveball, and then with the cutter, the 4-seamer, and then the cutter again. The cutter comes in at about 92, and the fastball at about 93. Count even 2 apiece. Infield, front edge of the grass with a forward lean. Bases loaded. The pitch. Rada bounces it towards the second baseman, Castagnone. He has it. His only play is to outrun Rada to first. In to score from third is Marlowe. And the Bees lead 11-7 here in the top of the 7th inning. 4 unassisted on the play. Heads up by Castagnone on the moment. Sometimes a player will hurry thinking they can get 2 or try to get Marlowe at the plate, and you really have no chance. Marlowe had a good lead over there at third and is a speedy runner. And so smart play there by Castagnone. And the Bees now with runners at 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. A righty getting loose. It's Stratton in the bullpen for El Paso. Here is Pablo Reyes. Boy, he has really hurt his former team this week. And Reyes, broken bat, looping liner, center field. It's going to get down. In to score from third is Porter. Rounding third is Moore. He's going to hold. And Pablo Reyes hurts his former team once again. This an RBI single. It is 12-7 Salt Lake. 4 multi-hit games in this series for Pablo Reyes. This a 3-hit performance. That's his 2nd 3-hit game. He now has 4 runs batted in today. The Bees up by 5. Here's Ben Goebel. Runners at the corners, 1 out. The Bees trying to really pour it on here in the 7th. Goebel takes the first pitch outside, ball 1. Goebel had that RBI single in the 6th after striking out in the 4th inning. As all of a sudden it was a Reyes 3-run double, and then the Goebel knock to bring in a run, and then Candelario smashed a home run. Here comes the 1-0. Runner on the move, and it's fouled straight back. That was a good jump at first by Reyes. Because all of a sudden, France has just lost a bit of focus here. I mean, he didn't even look at him. And Reyes noticed that. He didn't just get a nice jump. I mean, there was not going to be a throw. And if Goebel finds a hole there, Reyes is on the move to get one more base than he originally would have. JP France comes set, deals, swing, and a miss, 1-2. And attacking the top part of the zone here. He's going with the fastball at 93 and was able to blow it by him. 1-2 the count, one down. Top of the 7th inning. Runners at the corners. It is Moore at third. It's Reyes at first. The pitch to Goebel, flied high in the air, shallow right field. Coming in is Solak, tagging at third Moore. Solak the catch, Moore tags. Here comes the throw to the plate. Here comes Moore. Feet for slide, save! Sack 9 and an RBI for Ben Goebel. Going first to second on the play is Reyes. Bees lead 13-7. This was not hit all that deep. Moore with great hustle as Solak went to make the catch. He got forward movement, but at the last moment he had to kind of catch the ball to the side rather than kind of chest high. So instead he had to reach out a bit to grab it, then reset, redirect, had a strong throw, but it was just barely late. Here's Jamer Candelario, takes high for ball one. So the Bees, after putting on 6 in the 6th, they now have 3 here in the 7th. They lead by 6 runs. Candelario, who had a towering shot back in the 6th inning. Candelario takes off speed and over for a strike. It's 1-1. He hit it against JP France. Looking to do more damage against France now here in the 7th. Candelario with a loud, long home run off the top of what they call the woof tops here. And he lines this one over to the first baseman, Prado. He leaps to make the catch. The inning is over. But some more damage done. 3 runs to go with 2 hits, an error, 1 left. They're stretching in El Paso. They're not happy about it. It's the Bees 13, the Chihuahuas 7 on the KSL Sports Zone.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together. All of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Right now, JCW's has 15 bus and billboards depicting our delicious, mouthwatering hamburgers across I-15. We've also just learned that I-15 averages 15 fender benders a day. Probably a coincidence, but just in case, keep your eyes on the road. Here's what our burgers sound like. Now with your hands at 10 and 2, safely turn into one of our 5 locations in American Fork, Lehigh, Provo, South Jordan, and Harriman. JCW's. Quality and a lot of it.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Salt Lake up 13-7 now against the El Paso Chihuahuas. Carlos Rodriguez, Nick Solak, Ethan Salas, 3, 4, 5 hitters, 2 up. For the El Paso Chihuahuas, as the Bees were down by 3 2 different times today. And now, all of a sudden, they have scored 9 unanswered. They have a 6-run lead. There's the first pitch to Rodriguez. On the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Mitch Ferris out there for his 3rd inning of work. Allowed 2 runs back in the 5th. Pitched a 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. Looked great. Rodriguez fans and misses at a off-speed pitch right down the pipe, 0-2. Rodriguez 1 for 3 on the day, singled back in the 2nd inning. He was well out in front of a changeup. Here's the 0-2. Looping liner out to left, coming on Marlowe, slows down and makes the chest high grab for out number 1. Rodriguez down, one out, nobody on. Bottom of the seventh, 13-7 Salt Lake. Nick Solak, 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch and scored back in that fifth inning. Ferris retired the first two there in the fifth. Then all of a sudden had Solak on the ropes as Solak was having a tough time catching up the pitches, was flailing and missing, was off balance, and had to use his timeout and reset. Well, suddenly, Ferris plunked him. As the first pitch, skyscraper high in the air, right towards the second baseman Moore, using his glove to block the sun, but it's the shortstop Sanchez coming over to make the call and the catch by the second base bag for out number 2. Well, good work there as Moore was fighting the Sun Goblin by putting the glove right in front of his face. Sanchez, who had an angle coming over from the side, took over, and he has right away. It's a good communication, great work by the middle infielders. Suddenly, Ferris has retired 6 in a row. Ethan Salas in the box. He homered all the way back in the fifth inning, takes inside for a ball. Salas, a double, a home run, 4 runs batted in. He has reached 3 times. He has been so impressive here at the AAA level. 1-0, off speeding at the knees, a strike, 1-1. The Padres, plenty of reasons to be excited about this guy. Had his 6th double earlier today to go with his 3rd home run in the short time he's been here. He now has 20 runs batted in. Ferris the 1-1, and it's lined to center field. Long way to go for Rada, still coming in, slides down and makes the catch. Another stellar play in the outfield for Nelson Rada. Just another day at the office for him. Another 3 up, 3 down inning for Mitch Ferris. Bees in command, up 13-7. We go to the 8th on the KSL Sports Zone.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Get hunt ready before you head into the backcountry. Gear up at Mountain Land Truck Outfitters. Purchase $250 or more in rough country recovery equipment, and you'll get a free $25 Maverick G card. Don't miss his limited time hunting season offer. Visit your nearest Mountain Land Truck Outfitters location or shop today at mtnlndtruck.com. Offer valid through August 31st, 2026, or while supplies last. Purchase $250 or more in rough country recovery equipment to receive one free $25 Maverick gift card. Limit 1 gift card per customer account while supplies last.
Top of the 8th inning, Bees in control, up 13-7 here this afternoon in El Paso. Don't forget the Bees are back at home Tuesday through Sunday. Make sure to join us when the Bees face the Reno Aces, especially if it's your last time to get out to the ballpark before school gets started. We have family night on Tuesday. 4 tickets, $40, brought to you by Holmes Homes. We have Thirsty Thursday coming your way. You get $6 beer, $3 soda at the yard. Of course, Princess Night on Saturday. We don't want you to miss that one. Kids get to run around the bases on Friday and Saturdays. We have a lot of fun coming up with that last homestand before school starts. It's coming your way Tuesday through Sunday. First pitch to Rowdy Rodriguez is inside for a ball. As Rowdy Rodriguez, great to see him get on base in that 6th inning. As he was able to draw a walk, keep the inning going as the 1-0. Check swing and the pitch was up. His own discipline has been great. He's had some timely hits in the time that he's been in a Bees uniform. I still feel like he has a few more levels that he can go. Hunter Stratton now on for El Paso. Swing and a miss on a pitch downstairs, 2-1. Hunter Stratton, who is the 4th pitcher employed today for the Chihuahuas, takes over for J.P. France, who got roughed up in the 6th and also in the 7th. Catching for El Paso is now Blake Hunt. So we'll keep you up to date on some of these changes that are made. 13-7, Salt Lake, top 8. Rodriguez, 2 for 8 when he leads off an inning. Righty on righty. Stratton kicks and fires. And cut on and miss, strike 2. Pitch a little bit above the zone over the inside part of the plate. And Rodriguez went hunting heavy for that one. He wanted to yank that over the left field wall. 96 on the heat. Here for Hunter Stratton. Infielders all playing back. Here comes the 2-2 from Stratton to Rodriguez. Inside. And the count runs full. Final line for J.P. France, 1 2/3, 4 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks. He gave up the 2-run homer to Jamer Candelario. Count full, bases empty. The pitch to Rodriguez, grounded up the third base side foul through the coach's box. Knocked down by the third base coach and manager of the Bees, Doug Davis. J.P. Sears, 2 1/3 today, 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned. Anybody with the name JP was in trouble while facing up against the Bees today. Salt Lake has scored 9 unanswered. Rodriguez takes face high inside, ball 4. He's reached now for the second time today, and it brings up Yolmer Sanchez. Well, the Salt Lake Bees with the offense clicking the way it has over the past 4 games. What a great sign for this team. You know, they've been a team that struggled hitting with runners in scoring position. They lost the game the other day because they were 1 for 9 in that department, and you could just feel some of the same problems surfacing. Sanchez takes low ball 1, switch hitter from the left side. Well, believe it or not, Yolmer is the only batter in the lineup not to reach base today. He's trying to change that here in this top of the 8th. All members of the lineup have reached. The pitch. At the knees, a strike. And it's 1-1. Sanchez struck out the first, flied out to right in the 3rd, grounded out to the pitcher in the 5th, grounded into an inning-ending double play in the 6th. Here comes the 1-1. And it's outside, 2 balls and a strike. Well, the Bees really quieted this place down in a hurry with that 6-run 6th and the 3-run 7th. And the late inning production from this team has been so impressive during this week. Throw over to first, and Rodriguez is back standing up. Stratton, who had 2 scoreless innings earlier in the series, a scoreless 8th in the opener, and then it was a scoreless 9th back on Friday. But the Bees were victorious that night. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Yolmer Sanchez. Throw over to first again. Rodriguez back standing up. Rodriguez a little bit late to react over there, but he does get back on time. Here's Rowdy, 2 for 4 stealing bases. 13 for the Bees, 7 for the Chihuahuas. Top of the 8th. Holding from the stretch, Hunter Stratton. Here comes the 2-1. Hit high and hard, deep right center field. Going back is Harris at the track in front of the wall. Now comes in a few more steps, and he'll make the catch. Sanchez just got underneath that one. And the wind, which was blowing in from center field earlier, it's now died down, so that didn't play a part in it. But the ball jumped off of his bat, but it was towards one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. And the ballpark held on to it. Sanchez 0 for 5. Here's Cade Marlowe, who started the series 0 for 12 and is now 4 of his last 5. 3 for 4 today, including a home run back in the 2nd. Marlowe takes a strike at the knees on the outside corner. A wild back and forth game for a while. The Bees went up 2-0. El Paso with a 5 spot in the first, went up 5-2. The Bees got 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th. They made it 5-4. 2-run homer by Salas made it 7-4. That's down Main Street for a strike, and it's 0-2. So you just felt like, the Bees are going to need to continue to put pressure on them. All of a sudden, Salt Lake just exploded with 6 in that 6th inning, 3 in the 7th. Now they have a 6-run lead. Looking at the runner over there at first is the pitcher Stratton. The lead at first, Rodriguez. Long hold, the 0-2. Looping, liner, right field, down for a base hit. Rounding second, and on his way to third, Rodriguez. The throw from Solak will go to second. It's a corner-to-corner Rodriguez. Fourth hit of the day for Cade Marlowe. Runners at the corners, one out here in the 8th. What a great performance by Marlowe. Well, in Salt Lake, you look at the depth of this offense, you have to feel so good about it. There's great speed, great switch hitting ability. As the Bees go with a pinch hitter, Omar Martinez is going to take over for Logan Porter. And Porter today was on 4 times. And so the Bees just have a lot of positive things going on in this lineup. Speed and power all over the place, great zone discipline. I mean, they've had a great offensive day. Kyron Paris isn't even in the lineup. Corners in, middle infielder's back. First pitch to Martinez. Outside, ball 1. As Martinez, you talk about a guy who had a great performance 2 nights ago. Omar Martinez, a 3-run homer. He was 3 for 4, also had an RBI double. Omar fouls it off left side, not a play. Martinez was not in the lineup yesterday or today. Right now, every time you look at the lineup, you're going to find names not there that happen to be great weapons. There's some really good players who have to sit the bench a time or two. 95 on the heat here from Stratton, and the 1-1 is up. 96 that time. And the count's 2 balls and a strike. Oh, but right now, Cavadas is not in the game. He started today and then was lifted for Goebel. And as I mentioned, you don't have Kyron Paris, who's been on a tear. Here's the 2-1. Martinez swings and misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And while the Angels don't have some of the organizational depth that you ultimately want, they've improved in that area. I mean, they're far from finished, no doubt about it. I mean, you can look at the Major League record, you can look at a number of signs that tell you that they still have a ways to go. But this was an area where they had no depth. Now they have some depth. Here's the 2-2. Martinez takes low. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. 13-7 Bees, top of the 8th inning. 1 out, runners at the corners. Salt Lake. There's a guy in Omar Martinez that did not make it to the AA level till last year. He started playing professionally in 2018. All of a sudden, he entered into AAA last season. Started at AAA this year in the Angels organization and made his Major League debut. Stepping off is the pitcher Stratton. It looked for a moment like Marlowe at first was about to take off. The count is full with 1 down. Marlowe creeping out to his lead at first. Looking at him is Stratton. Holds from the belt. Rocks steady. There goes Marlowe. And the pitch. Check swing foul left side. Will do it again. As Marlowe runs past second, turns around and trots back to first. But it's been a beautiful thing to see as Martinez made his Major League debut and achieved those dreams. You have other players who are continuing to try and hunt that down. 3-2 again, fouled straight back. We'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Another guy not in the lineup today is Gustavo Campero. That's a guy that, last night had a 3-hit performance, drove in a pair, had a double. Just time and time again, you look at this lineup and you can expect some big things, especially if the pitching just gives them a chance to win. They usually will. 3-2. Martinez takes outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded with 1 out. He's up 13-7 in this top of the 8th. Christian Moore has reached 3 times today with 1 hit. He singled to start this game off. He walked in the 6th and walked in the 7th. What I love about Christian Moore is during that comeback last night, he was at the plate with a big opportunity for a big rip and to do some damage, and to look to be the hero. And he didn't do that. He laid off tough pitches, did a great job to draw a walk. That gave way to Gustavo Campero, who had the 2-run single for the Bees last night in that rally, as they erased a 3-run deficit going into the 9th inning. It was the pitches they didn't swing at. That was what made it so impressive, is they brought in the tying run with a walk and the go-ahead run with the walk. Bases loaded, One out. Bees up 13-7. Moore takes low, ball one. With the bases loaded, Christian Moore, 4 for 14 with a double. He is a .392 hitter with runners in scoring position. The water is getting red for El Paso. The 1-1. Moore bounces it towards the second baseman, Castañon. Backs up on it, throws to second for one. Workman on the first. A stretch by Prado. They got him. Another big double play from this defense. The best in professional baseball, that being the El Paso Chihuahuas. The Bees threaten big in the 8th, but they do not score. No runs, a hit, no errors, 3 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 13-7, Salt Lake.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Thinking about replacing your windows? Choose a company that builds and installs them right here in Utah. Advanced Window Products is Utah's local window and door manufacturer that sells directly to homeowners. Hi, I'm Nate Orchard, the mayor of Sac Lake City with Advanced Window Products. At Advanced Window Products, there are no dealer fees, no middleman markups, and no extra costs to cover someone else's profit. From manufacturing to installation, every step is handled by Advanced Window Products' local team. Every window is custom built in Salt Lake City for Utah's homes and backed by one of the strongest warranties in the industry, a lifetime warranty covering labor, glass, and parts. Even better, it's fully transferable to the next homeowner. Right now, get $2,000 off when you purchase 10 or more windows. Financing is available, and Dominion Energy rebates may help you save even more. Call 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. Or visit us at advancedwindows.com. That's 801-850-9100 or advancedwindows.com.
97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midband. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Salt Lake leading by the score of 13-7. Back and forth ball game here this afternoon in El Paso. Marcos Castañon is going to lead off this bottom of the 8th. Dylan Tate on now for Salt Lake. He took the loss back in game number 2 of this series. First pitch on the inside part of the plate is strike to Castañon. Castañon, an RBI double in the first, struck out the third, and singled in the 5th inning. Dylan Tate, his only appearance was back on Wednesday. 1 inning of work in the 7th as that's grounded foul third base side. Count is now 0-2. Tate gave up the solo homer to McCoy. That broke a 2-2 tie, and it was a 5-2 victory for El Paso back in game 2. Salt Lake struggled to get some offense on that afternoon. The pitch is outside 1-2. Well, Castañon, a .333 hitter here in the month of August, an on-base percentage of .409 coming into today. So Castañon, a dangerous player, and he's had great success against the Bees in his career, including 4 home runs, batting .368 against him. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Castañon takes at the knees, outside corner, a strike. He didn't like it, and he walks away unhappy. A backwards K will start the bottom of the 8th inning. And it brings up Nick Prado. Prado with 2-run homer back in the 1st inning. He is 1 for 2 with a walk. Prado's now reached in 19 straight games. His team down 13-7. First pitch is strike. Dylan Tate, who loves to pound the strike zone. A guy that was a great addition to this bullpen. Got off to a great start in a Bees uniform. Pitches on the inside corner for a strike. His first 7 games, he allowed just 1 earned run in 7 2/3, walked 3. His ERA was a microscopic 1.17, and opponents batted .154 against him. It has been a different story since the end of July in that series against Sugar Land. He's 0-4 in his last 5 outings. His ERA at 10.29, and opponents hitting .333 against him. Puts the glove in front of his face, winds and fires the 0-2. Low skipping ground ball right to Reyes, the third baseman in the shortstop area. Throws to first, coming off the bat, Candelario. Couldn't get him on the swipe tag. And Prado is safe. So Prado aboard with an infield single, or are they going to call this an error? It might be 5. This good throw may have nabbed him. We'll see what the official call is. They are going to go E5. I think that's a correct ruling. Runner at first, 1 out, 13-7 Salt Lake. Here's Clay Dungan. Takes inside for a ball. Dungan 1 for 3 with a stolen base tonight. And Dungan, who has been a household favorite here for this crowd. They've loved his commitment to the team, especially when he's been here. This is a hard hit grounder to the second baseman. Moore picks and flips to second for 1. Sanchez on to first. They roll him up. Fishers, Indiana 4-6-3 to get out of the 8th. As Tate faces the minimum 3, and we'll head to the 9th inning. Bees up 13-7 on the KSL Sports Zone.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative,
and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
I didn't realize how bad my windows were until I replaced them. You think your house is fine, and then you sit by a new high-performance window, and suddenly you're not freezing in the winter or baking in the summer. Peach Windows and Doors showed me the difference between builder-grade windows and real performance windows. The glass packages, the seals, the insulation, it's not even close. And here's the part I love. It completely changes the look of the house. Cleaner lines, bigger glass, more light. It instantly feels upgraded. Whether you're building $1 million home or you want yours to look like one, windows matter more than you think. Lower energy bills, more comfort, massive curb appeal. Go see the difference for yourself at peachdoorsandwindows.com or visit their showroom. Trust me, once you see the difference, you can't unsee it. peachdoorsandwindows.com.
Top of the 9th inning, Bees in control, 13-7 here tonight. As for the Salt Lake Bees, 2-3-4 hitters, Rana, Reyes, and Goebel coming to the plate. A wild afternoon here today at Southwest University Park. It included an obstruction call in the first inning, which led to an argument. 2 batters later, the argument continued. It led to an ejection of Pete Zamora, the manager of the El Paso Chihuahuas. The Bees were trailed by 3 at 2 different points of the day. Stratton is on for the night. And this is grounded foul right side by Rada, 0-1. And then the Bees poured it on with 6 in the 6th and 3 in the 7th. And they did it against relievers, both with the first name JP. As they pounded on JP France and JP Sears. Rada chops it down the first baseline fair over the bag. Tight to the line, Prado will race down the chalk line in time to get Rada for out number 1. As today, JP Sears allowed 5 earned, JP France 3 earned, and 5 total. Pablo Reyes coming to the plate. He has 3 hits today against his former team. 10 hits overall in the series, including 3 doubles. 4 runs batted in on the afternoon. Might have had the biggest swing of the day. Takes on the outside corner for a strike. 13-7, Salt Lake on top. Reyes had the big 3-run double back in the 6th inning, as it tied the game up at 7-7. Up to that point, it really just felt like El Paso was in command. That's popped up high in the air behind home plate. The catcher, Hunt, goes after it, watches it sail into the seats. And it's 0-2. Well, you knew it was going to be a high-scoring game. You know it might be a back-and-forth battle. And this was just one of those where you felt like somebody was going to need to get a big inning to go on and win, and it looked like it might be El Paso who had the 5 spot in the first inning. Well, but the Bees They put together a big threat, and they kept the pedal down the entire sixth, all 9 to the plate. Candelario hit a big home run as the pitch is off the end of the bat, foul. For the batter, Reyes, the count 0-2, 1 down. Here in the top of the 9th inning. He's up 13-7. Reyes, who played so well in an El Paso uniform, he's always played well in this stadium. That includes this week. Reyes fouls it back. We'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, when Reyes joined the Bees, and you felt the uptick offensively. There's just certain guys that ripple throughout the entire offense. Obviously, his example is a good one. He's such a pro. You can just tell he's had a lot of years in the bigs. He's played a number of different places. He's impacted a lot of teams positively. 0-2. Popped him up high to the right side of the infield. The second baseman, Castañon, coming over. Prado with the call, fighting the sun, and makes the catch. For out number 2. 2 up, 2 down. Both putouts. The first baseman, Prado. 13-7 Bees. Top of the 9th. Here's Ben Goebel. Goebel took over for Nico Cavadas. That was in the 4th inning. Goebel 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a sac 9 back in the 7th. Infield shifted left. And the pitch at the top of the zone, a strike. And the Bees, that team who's struggled hitting with runners in scoring position today, they are 8 for 20. The last 4 games in this series, they score 8 or more, which is such a great sign. Last night, they were 4 for 11. Goebel swings and misses 0-2. 2 nights ago, they were 4 for 9. And all the way back on Thursday, they were 6 for 16. This has just been a great sign. To see them improve.
Well, the Dodgers recalled right-handed pitcher Kyle Hurt and placed left-handed pitcher.
Like they left an opportunity empty. Here's the 0-2. Fouled back. They didn't have a 1-run inning where you thought they should have piled on. Never had a scoreless inning where you threatened in a big way and spoiled it with a bad swing or bad decision at the plate. No, instead, this team stayed dialed, stayed focused, and when they had a chance to pile on, they did. And time has been called. This is great officiating by Ben Phillips. He noticed that the wrist guard for Ben Goebel was a bit detached as some of the wrapping was dangling down. Now, Ben Goebel is not going to call for time because he already has, and now he's up against it to face a timing violation with 2 strikes. Ben Phillips calls time and lets him fix that. It's great work. 13-7 Bees, 2 out. Here's the 0-2. And Goebel takes low. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. No, but for the Bees, all parts of the lineup, especially the 8-9 spots, were so productive. It was Marlowe with a 4-hit game. Porter reached 4 times. Here's the 1-2. Check swing, went after it, and it bounced off the glove of the catcher, Hunt. I don't know if that hit the bat of Goebel or if it just went to the backstop. The arms did not go up from home plate umpire Ben Phillips. The count stays 1-2. Infield shifted left. Here comes the pitch from Stratton. And Goebel fouls it high to the right side. And we'll do it again at a ball and 2 strikes. Coming up in the bottom of the 9th for El Paso, Johnson, Harris, Workman, 9-1-2 hitters. As the Bees trailed this series 2-1. They soundly won that game back on Friday. Pitch is high. They rallied back last night to steal it in the 9th with a 4 spot after being down by the score of 7-4 going into the 9th inning. And then today, they're up 13-7. Pitch to Goebel. Slowly swung on a miss, strike 3. The inning is over. Stratton with a 1-2-3 top of the 9th, but last call for El Paso in the bottom of the 9th. Bees up 13-7 on the KSL Sports Zone.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions. telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
The energy, the roar, moments you'll always remember. Next season, Jaren Jackson Jr. is hunting blocks. Laurie Marketing is getting buckets. And Ace is just getting started. Don't just watch Jazz basketball. Experience every moment. 2026-27 season tickets are on sale now. Full and half-season packages available. Plus exclusive benefits like arena discounts and player events. Are you in? Join the climb today. UtahJazz.com or call 801-355-DUNK.
Bottom of the ninth inning, he's up 13-7 against the El Paso Chihuahuas. Bryce Johnson, Dustin Harris, Gage Workman on here for the bottom of the ninth against Dylan Tate. He pitched a scoreless eighth inning, facing the minimum 3, and after an error, allowed a runner on. He was able to induce a 4-6-3 double play to close down business in the eighth. Bryce Johnson on the night is 0 for 3. Struck out the first, flied out to center in the fourth, and lined out to third in the sixth inning. The Salt Lake Bees have not won a 6-game series in the entire second half of the year. They're on the brink of doing it right now. Dylan Tate goes from the windup, puts the glove in front of his face, turns, kicks, fires, ground ball back to Tate, knocks it down with his glove, searching around his feet, finds it, bare hands, throws to first in time. 1 down. Took him a second, but he was able to locate. And he had plenty of time. Well, yeah, Tate knocks this one down right by his feet. He's searching around. He had no idea where that ball went. And intelligently went with the bare hand to pick it up. Threw a strike over to Candelario. Dustin Harris is 0 for 3 today with a walk and a stolen base. For Dustin Harris, 8 for 21 in this series. 3 doubles. He's been a nightmare to deal with. This is his 30th game against the Salt Lake Bees in his career. First pitch, grounded hard, but right to the first baseman Candelario, knocks it down, fumbles, can't find it. E3, 1 on, 1 out. Well, that was an adventure over there at first. Candelario, who was coming on well to that ball, cut it down perfectly, just didn't squeeze it. Staring up into the sky in frustration with his arms out. He did everything right except finish it. It may have been that he took his eyes off while he was trying to nab it and then get over to first base to beat Harris, who was definitely a speedster. The infield shifted right, 1 out, 1 on. Here's Gage Workman in the box. And Workman takes a strike at the top of the zone, 0-1. Gage Workman has reached twice as he walked and was hit by a pitch. 13-7 Salt Lake, bottom of the ninth, the series finale. And what has been a wild back and forth series. The 0-1. Line drive, left field, base hit. Harris around second, takes a look. Marlowe with it in left field, throws it in. Harris stops at second base. Workman with his first hit of the day. He's aboard with 1 out, bottom of the ninth. 13 runs, 14 hits, 2 errors for the Bees, 7 runs, 7 hits, and an error for El Paso. Carlos Rodriguez, a .377 hitter with runners in scoring position. He has been oh so hot, especially over the last 21 games. Takes inside for a ball. Started his career with 6 years in the Brewers organization. Rodriguez, the left-hand batter, against the righty Dylan Tate. Tate has allowed 3 base runners so far, but 2 of them have reached by errors. 1-0 is outside. 2 balls and no strikes. The Bees trailed by 3 2 different times today. Now they lead by 6. Bottom 9, 2-0. Bounce foul over by the first base on deck circle. And we'll do it at 2 balls and a strike. Salt Lake has had a frustrating stretch recently. They're beaten 5 out of 6 by Omaha. They were swept by Sugar Land They dropped 5 out of 6 against Oklahoma City. Stepped into the series, had to rally back and win game 1. The 2-1 is outside. 3 balls and a strike. Then we're trailing the series 2-1. Even the series on Friday. Pulled ahead last night with a 9th inning rally. Now on the brink of winning the series. 3-1, bounce foul to the backstop, and it's 3-2. And the way this team has found a way to do it, it's impressive. Just great resilience, great approach at the plate, time and time again. A terrific offensive surge down the stretch. Here's the 3-2. Check swing. It was in the zone anyway. Called. Strike 3. Rodriguez didn't like it. And El Paso's out of challenges. 2 out, 2 on. Bees up 13-7. Here is Nick Solak. 0 for 3s. Hit by a pitch and scored. Dylan Tate, who's had a frustrating stretch recently. Be great to see him finish this day with 2 scoreless innings. Put an exclamation point on the series. Righty on righty. First pitch to Solak at the knees, a strike. He's 0 for his last 7 in this series. 3 for 18 during the week. The Bees have actually held some really tough customers in check throughout the course of the week. Bryce Johnson, who's 3 for 20 in the series. And Solak, as I mentioned, 3 for 18. Solak swings and misses on a pitch outside. It's 0-2. Bees up 13-7. Bottom of the 9th, and El Paso down to their final strike. Also, Carlos Rodriguez. It's a great player, and he's 4 for 23 in this series. So, Salt Lake pitching had their ups and downs. Some really bright moments. 0-2. Solak fights it off and fouls it to the right side. We'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes. Workman in this series was 3 for 19. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. 13-7 Bees. The pitch. Bounce to the right side. It's Christian Moore on the trot. Has it. Underhands to first, and the ball game is over. The series is over as well. 13-7 the final. The winner is Salt Lake. They got even in the series back on Friday. They rallied back in the 9th to pull ahead of the series on Saturday. And they hand out the Series L in El Paso on Sunday afternoon. Bees take the series 4-2. Their first 6-game series win during the second half. They do it with 8 runs back on Thursday, 8 on Friday, 8 on Saturday, and 13 this afternoon here in far West Texas. We'll have more of the totals. We'll give you the highlights. We'll take our last look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and we'll preview that series against Reno next week on the other side. Final score, once again, 13-7, and the winner is Salt Lake.
To me, working at St. Jude, what makes it so special is that there's more research going on here. At St. Jude, we don't care who cures cancer, we just need to advance the cure. The heart of St. Jude is to take care of children with catastrophic diseases and to advance their cure rates, but we need to be able to do that for everyone. It's a bold initiative to try and bump cure rates all around the world, but it is our commitment.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Roseman University of Health Sciences, the proud educational sponsor of the Salt Lake Bees, is a private nonprofit institution located in South Jordan, Utah, training the next generation of competent, compassionate healthcare providers in nursing, pharmacy, dentistry, and graduate studies, as well as providing high-quality, affordable dental care to underinsured and uninsured Utah families. Roseman University is transforming education, reimagining healthcare, racing discovery, and committed to community. Learn more at roseman.edu.
America First Credit Union has everything you need to get your money working. And for a limited time, new members get a $150 cash bonus for opening a checking account and $200 more for enrolling in and using direct deposit. If you're ready to do more with your money and get up to $350 cash, head to americafirst.com and become a member today. Subject to membership eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions. Additional requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Welcome on into the 10th inning show. The Salt Lake Bees victorious on this Sunday afternoon, 13-7 against the El Paso Chihuahuas. For the Bees, 13 runs, 14 hits, 2 errors for El Paso, 7 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error on the day. The Bees take the final 3 games of the series. They win the series 4-2. As for Salt Lake, offensively, what a great day for Cade Marlowe. He started this series 0 for 12, but today he would end up going 4 for 5, including a solo home run in the second inning. Christian Moore reached 3 times on the day. Every member of the lineup would reach base, all of them with a hit, with the exception of Yomar Sanchez, as he was 0 for 5. But overall, it was a big offensive day for the Salt Lake Bees. Nico Cavadas an RBI single, Ben Goebel an RBI single. Jamer Candelario with a tape measure blast that hit off the facing of what they call the roof tops here at with the El Paso Chihuahuas. A massive shot in the 6th inning, as you heard the groan from the crowd, and they never really did make much noise after that. As the Salt Lake Bees also got a 3-run double from Pablo Reyes. He had a 3-hit day. He had a 10-hit series up against his former team, and he would shine in the biggest way throughout the course of the afternoon. The Bees should feel very good about this one, especially with the way that the series started. And for the Bees, Mitch Ferris gets the win. 3 innings of work, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He would retire the final 7 that he faced on the afternoon. Dylan Tate, 2 scoreless innings. Not a safe situation, but an encouraging performance for a guy who has struggled over his last handful of outings. Also, tip of the cap to Leonard Garcia. He had to come on for Caden Dana. Dana pitched 1 inning, allowed 5 earned runs. The Bees were down 5-2. Garcia pitched 3 scoreless innings to kind of help keep things at bay for an offense that was starting to hit the ball really hard, that being for the El Paso Chihuahuas. Taking the loss, J.P. Sears 4-4, now on the year, 2 1/3 innings of work, 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned, walked 3, and struck out 3. The Bees, they've struggled hitting with runners in scoring position, but the last 4 games, they were really good in that area, especially today. 8 for 20 with ducks on the pond. They stranded 9 on the other side, 3 for 10 for El Paso, and they left 6 out there on the base paths. A lot to be proud of in the back part of this series, and Salt Lake, who had 3 quality starts during the week. They had some clutch pitching from a guy like Caleb Ort, who had 2 saves during the week. Great offensive performances throughout the series, including former El Paso Chihuahua Pablo Reyes, Christian Moore. You also had a great back part of the series by Cade Marlowe. The catchers shined in a big way, including Logan Porter, who reached 4 times today. And just a ton to be proud of for this team that had to face some really difficult teams there during a big stretch with rosters that were loaded with some major league talent. They battled up against them. They were falling short time and time again. They came into this series searching not just to find their next stride as they try to gather steam towards the end of the year, but also to maybe pick up a series victory. And after falling down 2-1, this team rallies back to win the series 4-2. And in 2 of the victories, they trailed going into the 9th inning. Before this series, Salt Lake was a combined 0 for 27 when down going into the 9th. They rallied back to win game 1 when down by 1. They rallied back to win last night's game when down by 3. And today, they were down by 3 on 2 different occasions, and they would eventually come back to win 13-7. We'll have some of the look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up later on. We'll preview game 1 of the series against the Reno Aces. Coming up next, we'll hear some of the scoring highlights from this one as the Bees victorious on a Sunday afternoon in El Paso, 13-7 the final score, and the winner is Salt Lake.
I'm Elton John. When he was just 13, my friend Ryan White was diagnosed with AIDS. This was 40 years ago. At the time, he was shunned and threatened by his community, yet his grace and determination to help change the world for himself and all those infected with HIV was an inspiration. He is part of the reason I founded the Elton John AIDS Foundation. As the father of 2 boys who are almost Ryan's age now, I'm more determined than ever to end the AIDS epidemic for good. Since it began, the foundation has helped reach over 100 million people at risk of and affected by AIDS. We've saved over 5 million lives. That's over 5 million sons and daughters, parents and spouses, friends and loved ones. Please join me, and together we can finally achieve the AIDS-free world that Ryan envisioned. Learn more at eltonjohnaidsfoundation.org. And to see the very latest we've accomplished through the Rocket Fund to End AIDS, follow us at EJAF on Instagram.
Hi, this is Doug Wright, and as we move into August, I can't help but look back into July. That's where we celebrated Dee's birthday, which, by the way, is a month-long celebration. We call it the Dee Fest. We had every adult in the family there at Ruth's Chris in downtown Salt Lake City at 275 Southwest Temple, and it was just a delight. The atmosphere, the service, and, of course, the food. Incredible. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You can always count on Ruth's Chris. And then, of course, Hotel Park City is a wonderful place, especially at this time of year when it's so hot down in the valley, to head up into the mountains and enjoy that perfect meal. Let everybody else do the work. And you and your family, you and your friends, just kick back and enjoy the perfect meal. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, 275 Southwest Temple in the heart of downtown Salt Lake City, or up in our beautiful Utah mountains at Hotel Park City. It's Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Welcome back to the 10th inning show. The Salt Lake Bees faced up against the El Paso Chihuahuas in the finale of this 6-game series. Bees up 3-2 after their come-from-behind win last night. Salt Lake looking to get off to a good start. Christian Moore started it with a single. Nelson Rada scorched a line drive, but a great diving catch by Workman, the shortstop, for the first out of the inning. Pablo Reyes dropped down a bunt perfectly along the fringe of the third base line. That put runners at the corners with one down. Now, earlier in the inning, Christian Moore took off for second base. It looked like he was dead meat and hosed. However, third base umpire Travis Brewer called obstruction, so therefore Christian Moore was safe. Pete Zamora didn't like it, started arguing. Later in the inning, after the runners were at the corners with one down, all of a sudden, third base umpire Travis Brewer throws Pete Zamora out of the game. That's the second time during this series Zamora was ejected. El Paso had 5 total ejections during the week. Well, after that, it was Nico Cavadas who picked up right where he left off with an RBI single, and the Bees were on the board first. Then Jamer Candelario followed it up. Fly ball, center field, shallow, long run. The shortstop Workman coming in. Harris, it's going to drop. Coming in from third and on his way to score is Pablo Reyes. Sliding into second, Cavadas. An RBI duck snort single for Jamer Candelario. It's 2-0 Bees. Take him any way you can get him, and you'd find out Candelario, who started with a bloop, did a lot more than that later on. Well, in the bottom of the first, Caden Dana, who got the start for the Bees, had a quality start back in game 1. 6 innings of work, allowed 2 earned runs, but he walked Dustin Harris to start it off, then walked Gage Workman. You could feel trouble looming. Carlos Rodriguez lasered a line drive out to left, but it was right at Marlowe. Nick Solak hammered a line drive out to left, but it was right at Cade Marlowe. So all of a sudden, hard hit balls everywhere, and Ethan Salas made sure that this one didn't go right to an outfielder. Here comes the 2-0 from Caden Dana to Ethan Salas. And Salas flies it high and deep to right field, or center field. Going back is Rada, still going back at the track. It's off the base of the wall. Grounding third and coming in to score is Harris. Workman behind him. Here comes the relay. Throw to the plate on a bounce. Head for slide. Save. 2-run double Ethan Salas, and we're tied at 2 here in the bottom of the first. And they weren't done from that point. Marcos Castañon gave them the lead with an RBI double. All of these runs scored with 2 outs, and Nick Prado put an exclamation point on the first. Here comes the 2-1. Prado skies it high and deep to right. Going back Rodriguez, and this ball is gone. Over the high fence in right field. Nick Prado with his 10th long ball of the season. It's a 5 spot in the first for El Paso, and they now lead 5-2. So 5-2 the score. Caden Dana was done after that point, and all of a sudden they had to go to Leonard Garcia. But in the top of the second inning, Cade Marlowe, who was 0 for 12 to start this series, had a 9th inning knock that helped the Bees rally back and win game number 5. He started right where he left off here in game 6. Cade Marlowe 1 for 13 in this series. And gets a good hold of this one deep to right field. Going back is Solak, looking up, and that ball is fair and gone. Over the short porched wall, but by a mile. Cade Marlowe with a solo blast to start off this top of the second. That's his 4th leadoff home run of the season. And the Bees have cut the deficit to 5-3 here in the second. And the Bees continued to chip away as they got an RBI double from Logan Porter in the fourth inning. That suddenly made it a 5-4 ball game. And Leonard Garcia did a really nice job in the second, third, and the fourth as he kept El Paso scoreless during those frames. Then, in the bottom of the fifth inning, the guy taking over for the Salt Lake Bees was Mitch Ferris. He retired the first two without a problem, had Solak off balance and flailing away, but suddenly plunked him while he was ahead in the count 0-2. So with Solak at first, Ethan Salas made him pay. Let's fly deep down the left field line, slicing towards the corner, over by the Peter Piper Pizza Porch, and it is fair and gone. Ethan Salas with a two-run home run here in the bottom of the fifth inning. It is now 7-4 El Paso. 4 runs batted in for Salas. He put it over that high wall down the left field side, just inside the foul pole. He had a 2-run double. He had a 2-run homer. He's had an excellent AAA rookie season here so far. And so the Bees were back down by 3 again, but not for long. In the top of the sixth inning, it started with a ground out by Cade Marlowe to second. After that, Logan Porter walked to reach base for the third time of the day. Christian Moore walked, and the Bees were starting to threat. Broken bat single Nelson Rada. Suddenly, bases were loaded. 1 out. Pablo Reyes, the former El Paso Chihuahua, who had a stellar series, was looking to do some damage in the sixth. Runners with their leads. Here's the 1-1. Reyes puts it in the air to left field, drifting back on it is Johnson, still going back, and he can't get to it. It one-hops the wall. In to score from third is Porter, right behind him is Moore, Rada right behind him. It's a 3-run double for Pablo Reyes, and the former El Paso Chihuahua has tied the game 7-7. What a big moment for Pablo Reyes is during the series he ended up with 10 knocks altogether. He just continued to flex and come through in really big moments. The game was even, and all of a sudden Ben Goebel, who took over for Nico Cavadas, had an RBI single to now give the Bees their first lead since they were up 2-0 back in the first. But the Bees were not done, as with 1 on and 1 out, Jamer Candelario hammered this pitch. It's 3-1 hammered, high and deep to right. Headed for the rooftops and long gone off the big doghouse sign. Jamer Candelario annihilates one over the right field wall, and Salt Lake leads 10-7 here in the top of the sixth. Oh, what a shot by Jamer Candelario, and a little six-pack sundae in this sixth inning. What a big moment for the Bees. They call them the Wooftops. They're the rooftops, but with it being the Chihuahuas, they go off of that name, and he hammered this. It was a triple-decker premium seating area in right field. He nearly hit it over all of it. He hit it on the facing of the very top of the Wooftops, if you will, and it bounced back onto the field. You heard the groan from the crowd immediately. Suddenly, the Salt Lake Bees turn this little rally into getting even. Then they get ahead. Next thing you know, they're up by the score of 10-7. And they were far from done. Mitch Ferris then found a groove, retired the side in order in the bottom of the sixth, 1-2-3. Then in the seventh inning, Cade Marlowe, an infield bunt single, followed by Logan Porter, who had a swinging bunt, and he would get on due to the air from the pitcher, J.P. France. Then Christian Moore walked. Suddenly, bases loaded again, nobody out. Nelson Rada grounded to the second baseman, Castañon, 4 unassisted. He took it to the bag at first, and suddenly the Bees now tack on to go up 11-7, and that brought up Pablo Reyes again. Boy, he has really hurt his former team this week. And Reyes, broken bat, looping liner, center field. It's going to get down. In to score from third is Porter. Rounding third is Moore. He's going to hold. And Pablo Reyes hurts his former team once again. This, an RBI single. It is 12-7 Salt Lake. An amazing performance from the Bees offensively. They would go up 13-7 on the sac fly and the RBI from Ben Goebel. And from that point on, Mitch Ferris and Dylan Tate were really in control. As during this game, in the final 4 1/3 innings, the El Paso Chihuahuas had 1 total hit during that entire stretch. And so the bullpen flexed through the finish line. The Salt Lake Bees go on to win by the final score of 13-7. For the Bees, they're now 54-65 on the season. They're 15-30 in the second half. For El Paso, 49-70 on the season, 14-30 in the second half. We have a 6-game series against Reno coming up next week. We're going to preview that next, and we'll take our last look at the out-of-town scoreboard. You're listening to the 10th Inning Show right here on the KSL Sports Zone.
Mama, What does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
When the wolf?
Oh, a wolf.
Ooh! What about the tiny dog? Cat. Owl. Ooh. Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale.
Whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov.
/ the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton, and I want to share with you the experience of Donna in Washington. She writes, I got injured about 5 years ago. I was let go when, because of the injury, I couldn't keep up with my schedule. I've tried to find other work, but I'm 68 now. No one wants to hire someone that old. This week is tough, though, because I had to get my tooth fixed. So I only have $10 in my checking account. But it will be okay. I at least have food because of this pantry. Millions of people face hunger. Some every day, just like Donna. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Welcome back to the 10th inning show. The Bees victorious here this afternoon in El Paso. They win 13-7. A number of games in the Bigs have gone a final, so let's take our last look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Phillies beat the Twins 7-5. The Mets nipped the Nationals 4-3. Marlins 7, Reds 1. White Sox held off the Tigers 7-5. Yankees defeat the Blue Jays 4-3 in 10 innings. Braves, a close game winner against the Diamondbacks 5-3. The Orioles put together a 7-run sixth inning to beat the Rays 10-2. And at Wrigley Field this afternoon, Cardinals all over the Cubs 9-2 as they're stretching on the north side. Rain delay still top of the 7th inning. Pirates up on the Red Sox 7-3. Padres an early 2-0 lead at the Guardians as they had a rain delay before getting underway. They're in the top of the 3rd. Bottom 5 in San Francisco, they're tied at 6. The Rockies and the Giants all tied at 2. Rangers and the A's. And right now the Halos trailing at home against the Royals. Bottom of the 6th, it is 2-0. Brewers holding to a 2-1 advantage at the Dodgers. They're going to the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Sunday night game gets underway at 5:20. It is the Mariners at the Astros. 3-day games in the Pacific Coast League today. This was the earliest out of the 5 that took place in the PCL. It was also Sugar Land and Round Rock who had a game at this exact time. And for Sugar Land and Round Rock, they're going into the 9th inning. Round Rock leading 12-5 over the Space Cowboys as everybody's trying to chase Sugar Land in the PCL standings. Tacoma leads over Reno 2-1. That game is going to the 4th. The night games, it is in the Sooner State. Oklahoma City is going to host the Albuquerque Isotopes. And the late game in Sin City, it's Sacramento at Las Vegas. And here today, the Salt Lake Bees defeat the El Paso Chihuahuas by the final score of 13-7. This was the first 6-game series victory for the Salt Lake Bees in the second half. And what a great sign for this team. The only other series win they've had in the second half, it was against the El Paso Chihuahuas, but that was a 3-gamer. They took 2 out of 3 right after the All-Star break. The last time they had a 6-gamer against Reno, it's when Salt Lake really started to play some of their best ball as they dropped 2 of the first 3, but then all of a sudden won the final 3 going through the finish line. Late game drama, close games, time and time again between Reno and Salt Lake. So the Bees took 4 out of 6 in the last 6-gamer against them, took 2 out of 3 in the last series overall against the Reno Aces. As Salt Lake and Reno, we call it the BLC SLC series, and it has always been a ton of fun, and it will be fun once again. We have great items coming up for you with promotional nights, including Princess Night on the 22nd. Today was Princess Day here at this ballpark in El Paso. But ours, it's going to be wall to wall, and it's going to be a good time. Kids get to run around the bases after the game. Characters, which they'll be all over the concourse. So make sure to get there early, get great food, get great photos, and have a magical night. And, of course, girl dads, we know that as daddy-daughter date night when it's Princess Night at the ballpark. The Reno Aces, they're 21-23 coming into today's action in the second half of the season. And the Bees now at 15-30. And on top of that, for you fans, don't forget Tuesday night is family night. 4 tickets, $40. That is brought to you by Homes Homes, as we have games Tuesday all the way through Sunday night. So we hope to see you at the ballpark. And if you don't join us at the ballpark, don't forget we'll be on the air right here on the KSL Sports Zone all 6 games. And we'll also have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday's games on KMYU. So it's going to be a blast coming up next week between the Salt Lake Bees and the Reno Aces. That's going to do it for us here tonight. A huge thanks to Parker Long, doing a magnificent job back in the studio, and our thanks to you for listening. In 3 hours and 2 minutes, in front of 5,956 fans, the Salt Lake Bees defeat the El Paso Chihuahuas 13-7, and they also take this 6-game series 4-2, and they win the season series as well. Thanks once again for listening to the broadcast. I'm Tony Park saying good night from Southwest University Park. This has been a presentation of Salt Lake Bees baseball on the KSL Sports Zone.